Good evening. This is Linnie. Linnie is fever. Little bit fever. Mostly sinus. But I wanted to play something tonight, and I found there's this Picross game on Steam. So that's pretty cool. It actually has Twitch integration, but I am not doing the Twitch integration tonight. If I like the game though, we might think about doing that later, at a time when I am not as fragile as I am today. I'm going to go ahead and get started, because it's not like we have a story that we need to wait for people to rock up for. Now I'm going to have to briefly interrupt the music, because this game does not enjoy sharing with the rest of Windows. So just a second, gonna hide the starting soon, switch back, and we should have oh shit, no, because I now have, there we go, that's better. Now I had OBS up over the chat, which is no good. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and get started. Picross is a game that I played a lot on the 3DS. So I'm going to go ahead and... Well, in fact, I've done the introduction. The instructions are the same. Oh god, what am I doing here? There we go. I'm playing with a controller because, as I said, I played it on the 3DS. I'm more accustomed to using buttons to play it rather than mouse and keyboard. And so we shall do. I do have my voice on, right? Like, that would be really embarrassing. Hang on. I'm going to double check. Yeah, there it is. Good. All right. Away with you. Return with you. And we can start. Okay. So what have we got? Let's start with classic, and then we'll have a look at the other modes. All right. What are our options here? Auto fade verified. I think I do want that on. Highlight solvable rows, columns. You know what? I'm not feeling well. Yes, let's do that. Oh, I see. That's undone. Okay, all right. Oh man, you're gonna call me out and call me a novice because I want the easy options on because I'm sick? Well, fuck you then. Okay, you get better awards if you do it without the hints. Alright, fine. I will be able to do this for easier puzzles anyway. Yeah, 5x5s, it's not an issue. Alright, let's see. Now, let's check that I set this up. Yeah, so I'm using an Xbox controller which has, which has controls a bit different to, the 3DS, which, as I said, I played on. So I have set it up so that it is the same as the 3DS, which means counterintuitively that I am pressing A to put across and B to fill in. The hell is that? A flag? Yes, continue. How do I get to continue? None of these buttons will let me continue. I guess we're going mouse. All right. This is very calm music. I like it. So I'm just gonna settle in and play this for a bit. And then I thought I might, oh, it's a coffee cup? Yeah, I can see it. I thought I might talk a little bit about my time living in Japan. I don't know why. I think, the weather today really reminded me of the time that I spent there, because it was rainy. And the first time that I ever lived in Japan, I lived in somewhere really rainy at a very rainy time of the year. So, yeah. Let me just get into my Picross groove here. And then, we can have a chat. Where are we? These ones, these ones, these ones. 21, huh? This is a really nicely executed Picross game. I mean, it does cost money, so there is that. You can find Picross for free online, whatever, but I think this is definitely worth the money. It's really nicely done. Oh, it is pie. All right. This music is so cheerful. Just what I need. Not that one, that one. There we go. Umbrella. Okay. I wouldn't say it's getting challenging yet, but you do, with this one, at least have to think a little bit. There's no 5s to help guide your way. A baby? It is a baby. You know, since we're doing the, oh, now we've got 5s back. Since I'm going to do Japan talk a little bit later, maybe, where are we? That's it. Let me know if there's anything wrong with the audio balancing, by the way. I can't really see my OBS, but I set it up before the stream, so it should be fine. It's hard to know with music until you're actually in the game, though. I'm going to see if I know, what is that, a king? It is. Audio sounds a little bit loud, but it's overall fine. I can drag it down a little. In fact, I can probably do that in game. No, you know what? It's not doing sound at the moment. I'll just go into OBS and do it that way. Let's just drag it down to there. So what I was going to say is I'm going to try and say the Japanese word for each of the puzzle items. So king, that's I think that's Osama. I'm going to have to double check that though. Sometimes just or is fine. Let's get my Japanese dictionary up. Yeah, Osama is king. Hello, Firebomb. Nice to see you. It is that time of year for people to be sick. It's autumn, fall, where we are. I suppose I'm happy that I'm sick this week rather than next week because I'm getting my flu shot at the end of next week and you have to be well for that. So yes, flower? No? An anchor? I don't know what you call an anchor in Japanese. I'm going to find out. anchor in Japanese is... Would help if I spelled it right in the dictionary, hey. Ikari, maybe? It looks like it depends on what you're using it for, but I think ikari is probably the right word. All right. I'm getting pretty sick of these 5x5s. Can I go back? Where are we? I want to actually like go back. What if I press this button? There we go. Go quit. Yes. Okay, now I've got 10x10s. 5x5s, 10x10s, more 10x10s, some 15x15s, 20x20s, 25x15s. Ooh, wow, okay. Definitely gonna have to give that one a go before we finish. 30x30s, 30x25s, 40x30s. Wow, I've never done a 40x30 before. I am keen to unlock some of these bigger puzzles. It will let me do the first lot of 10x10s. That's good. Nice. All right, let's go. Oh wow, this is really easy to start with. It will let me just drag down. That's good. Oh shit! No, I went the wrong way with the directional pad. There we go. And then this one is. Here we go. Got that there. That there. That's that. This is a 1, so we can knock all of those out. Same on this row. It's just going to be a 1 there. That's like that. That's a 2. Oh god. It's so much more sensitive than the 3DS controls. Hey Sphinx. I hope I feel better too. You do have a worm by your name now. That's the sub badge. I wonder what it might turn into. Where are we? What am I up to? Here we are. Okay. Ah, this is so calming. I'm glad I'm playing this. I had to go and get a certificate at the doctor. Oh, it's a musical note. I had to go to the doctor to get a medical certificate for being off work today, and I kind of went to the wrong place to do it. So I should have gone to either a chemist or to my regular GP, which is like a, I'm not sure if you use the same phrasing in American English, but a GP is like your doctor that you go to if you're just like for anything basically. And if you need to see a specialist, they'll refer you on. But so I should have gone to them, but because everyone is sick at the moment, they didn't have anything except that would have required me to drive in peak hour traffic. And I'm a nervous driver at the best of times, let alone when I have an illness that makes me really dopey. So I decided not to do that, but it meant I went to instead a walk-in clinic, and turns out you're not supposed to go to walk-in clinics if you have chronic conditions, flare-ups of chronic conditions. So they did give me the certificate that I need for my work, but they were like, yeah, we can't do this again. So that's nice. My doctor lives a half-hour drive away because it's where I used to live rather than where I live now. So guess I'll die. I'm being dramatic, but it was pretty upsetting at the time. You know how things just seem like more like the end of the world when you're sick compared to when you're not sick. Gopher will not turn into a snake. You'll see. Even if no one continues to be subbed to me, I will still have it so people can see it. Having a quick look at the chat. Can call it primary care provider. Okay, cool. I hope everyone else is enjoying this very calming music as much as I am. But yeah, so I went there and I felt like I like to do the right thing. Like I really have that wanting to do the right thing sort of burned into my soul. So for me, if I feel like I've done the wrong thing, it's like, well, guess I'll die. But at the same time, I couldn't really have driven, so what the hell was I supposed to do? It's just really frustrating because, like, this is just something that happens to me occasionally, and I have to go spend money on a medical certificate every time it happens, even though I know exactly what it is. I know exactly what I have to do to treat it. Just one of those things. And the other thing is, right, it's sinusitis. But it's not normal sinusitis. So most people, when they hear sinusitis, they're like, okay, like your nose is stuffy, you're like, you need to blow your nose all the time, all that sort of stuff. You're stuffed up in the face, you sound really nasal, but that's not how mine presents at all. Mine is in my, the sinuses that go between and behind the eyes. So you can't actually see any of the regular symptoms. And I already sort of have a bit of a complex about feeling like I'm faking being sick, because I'm like, oh, I can't really be sick, right? Which I attribute to my parents being the kinds of people who are like, oh, well, if you're not literally dying, you must be fine. So even though I now know that that's wrong, it can be a little difficult to get that out of your head when it's been how you've thought about it for so long, I guess. So that was my day. I think the worst part of my sinusitis is that, well, as I said, it makes me really dopey, right? It also means that I completely lose the ability to sort of track the passage of time. So it feels like not much time has passed doing something, and then I'll look up and it's 3 hours later, and what the fuck has happened? Which is, as you can imagine, not terribly good when you're at work. Which is why I need to be off work, apart from also the fact that it makes me sleepy all the time. Exit. Neat. Deguchi. You reckon we need a LinnieGrey meme that says, welp, guess I'll die? I'll keep it in mind if we end up getting more emotes. I've actually, oh shit, Jesus. I have commissioned my emotes, and I have, I actually have, how many is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 2, 3, 4, 5, yeah. I have a copy of the very first one, the one that will be available to tier 1 subs. I'm getting 3 done up, but I'm making the other 2 only available at the higher levels. Well, I don't have a choice at the moment, to be really clear about it, right? Because I only have the 1 emote slot. But I thought it would be fun to have an emote that only I could use on you guys as well. That would be fun to me. Alright. That's all done there. Oh, it's done already. What's this one? What is that? Oh, just grass? Herbs. Herb. Herbs. Herbs. There we go. So I have a bit of a novel setup for the chat today. So because this game does not like having its audio on in the background if I am chatting or anything like that, what I have is I have the chat up on the screen, on my second screen, so I can see it easily, but I also have it open on my tablet, which is down in a less obvious location, so that if I want to chat, I can do that without losing focus on the window to keep the music going. The things I do for you guys. Hey there, com man. Hope you're having a good evening. Here we go. Oh, Jesus. Come on. Come on, come on, controller. We got this. Oh, no, we don't. We don't got this. I'll do it more slowly, shall I? So I hope everyone else is doing better than I am this evening. No illness, hopefully. Oh, well, Gopher already said they're not feeling too well. Firebomb, it is an alien smoking herb. It's a pot smoking alien. From a stream that I'm always watching. Oh, shit, that is the wrong move. How do I undo that? Fuck. This one? No. That one. There we go. It's not illegal everywhere. It is illegal where I am, though. Pot's 100% legal where you are, Firebomb. Yeah, it's legal in a bunch of places in America now. I mean, my philosophy towards this sort of thing is, you know, like, obey the laws in your local area. But is that a Metroid? It's an alien. It's an alien! Oh, that's good. Obey the laws in your local area, but within those laws, do what you feel safe with. Shit, wrong button. If you want to try things that are legal, you try things that are legal. If you don't want to, there's no reason why you should feel pressured to. And I mean, that's the same for things that are more recently legal, like, depending on your jurisdiction, you know, marijuana, or whether it's things that are, you know, have been legal time immemorial, like alcohol. You know, do what you're comfortable with. Don't let anyone else pressure you into doing stuff you're not comfortable with. Easier said than done a lot of the time, but I think if you live true to yourself, you shouldn't have too many regrets. Some regrets are probably inevitable, but you know, you can control the amount, hopefully. If you live in a pretty happy situation. Where are we? 3. I've said this before and I'll say it many times again. The controls for this are not quite as responsive. Well, no, you know, they're actually more responsive than on the 3DS, and that's what's tripping me up. Oh no, please, please stop, stop. This one is mood. If it were 20 by 20, would it be a big mood? This one goes up to like 40 by 40 or something like that. They're locked at the moment, but I would love to to get some of those big ones unlocked. There we go. Is it sad? Happy? No, it's happy! Oh my god. How do you mistake sad for happy? I guess I wasn't looking at the very bottom. Star Child, you saw wood. I can feel that. Also, thank you for coming to the stream and the chat also. Washington and Colorado were the first states in America to legalize it. Interesting. But not surprising, I guess. Get up. Where are we? Where to start? Where to start? It's this from here, right? Yes. And then this one too. Oh shit. Nope. Enough. Stop. I don't want to lose those tasty, tasty points for not making too many mistakes. Alright, I think that's all I can do for that for here. But if we have to have 3 lots of 2s, then these 2 have to be here. Right? It's got to be this way. What are we looking at? Video games. Okay. Firebomb on 420, the police give out chips. That is very interesting. Where are we? Wait, shit, was that wrong? It made a weird noise at me. No, it has... Yeah, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, it has to be those ones. Stop messing me up, you crazy game with your weird noises. I mean, I've made a heart. Can I just stop here? Is it a coin? It's starting to look a little bit like a Mario coin. Or maybe a crosshair? These 8s. Oh, Jesus. And that's a 6 now, so we can go ahead and seal it off. Oh god. Wow, get up there. I still can't tell what this is. I've got to say, something that was really good about the 3DS version was that it slightly colorized things as you went. That's now 8, right? Yes. It is a coin. Oh, I'm just reading what Star Child's written. I do that with streams as well, though. I absolutely talk out loud as though the streamer can hear me. But I mean, we all do that, right? Like, people talk to the TV, people talk to the radio. Humans just hardwired to talk when they hear talking. That said, if there is something you would like to say to me, you will find I will be better able to respond to it if you place it in the chat. Alright. How long have I been streaming for? Half an hour, alright. I think I mentioned already, but the sinusitis that I have makes it easy to lose track of what time it is. Or not just what time it is, but how long I've been doing something for, which is really great. But I'm sure I'll be fine, right? You guys will tell me if I accidentally stream until midnight. I don't think I will, but, you know, let me know if I do. The real reason I was looking at the time, because I was like, when would be a good time to start talking about my time in Japan? And I reckon now would be a pretty good time. So if you have any questions, you can go ahead and ask. But I guess I'll start by talking about why I kind of had the idea to do this today, or to make it a thing that people can ask. Which is that when I fucked something up here. Damn it. Hang on, I've got to fix this. I've really screwed something up badly. I'm going to take out these whole 2 rows and start them again and see if I can work out what the hell I've done. So I was out walking today to go to the clinic to get the certificate that I needed. And while I was out walking, it just reminded me so much of when I first moved to Japan, because when I was there that very first time, it was... Alright, I've screwed it up still. Am I going to need to turn on a hint for this? That's very frustrating. What have I done? It's got to be here, right? Because it will be about symmetrical. So my guess is that I don't even know. It has to be an hourglass. So like that has to go there, which means that has to be like this, and then that there, this here. There we go. Maybe I was looking at the wrong part for a little while. Firebomb, I heard that some people don't talk to themselves in their heads, which blows my mind. Like that can't be right, right? Like people must all talk to themselves. Like how could you live without an internal monologue? I don't understand it. Anyway, Firebomb, your dad did business in the 80s over there. Yeah, so when I moved over there for the very first time, go down. I moved to a place called Kanazawa, and I moved over there in about March for 3 months. And it's like the rainiest city in Japan, apparently. So, oops, shit. Undo, that's better. Firebomb, that's what I thought. So, I don't know where this person got their information from, but I think they're wrong. So when I moved over there, it rained like probably, gosh, 4 days, minimum 4 days out of 7 for the 3 months that I was there. So it was very rainy, but subsequently, and also being from a dry place, that means kind of in my mind that I associate Japan with that kind of weather. And yeah, so when it was kind of windy and wet out today, and I was walking by myself, again, is something that often will trigger memories for me, just being out and walking by myself, because I did a lot of being out walking by myself when I was over there, and it was my first time living away from home. I guess your first time being away from home is something that sticks in your mind, right? So, yeah. Where are we? Just gotta get these ones in. I think that first time I was over there was probably the hardest of all the times. There's a lot of good things about Japan, and there's a lot of challenging things about Japan, especially if you're living there rather than just for a visit. For a visit, like, I'd say the only challenging thing would be if you find it difficult to sort of be quiet, maybe, or to, like, not cause a fuss. What's this? Sky? What is it? I can't even tell. Lightning? Oh yeah, okay, that's very obvious actually. But especially if you're staying in Tokyo or any of the other really big cities, they're just so used to foreigners there now that it's really not an issue. Even if you don't speak a huge amount of Japanese, like, you're gonna need to be able to speak a little bit, but they're making a really huge effort, especially in Tokyo, to make English as ubiquitous as possible before the Olympics. At my university, actually, when I was doing my master's, they had a survey that they asked all of the international students to fill out that was specifically about English wording for maps and things like that, because they wanted various international students' views on the words and on the symbols and things for maps that they would be using for the Olympics, which are coming up next year, unbelievably. I can't believe it's I think I was in Japan when it was announced that they might have the 2020. Let me think. I went to Japan in 2012. Was that no, the first time was 2010. So yeah, I might have actually been in Japan when it was announced that Tokyo would have the 2020 Olympic Games. But yeah, they've been sort of ramping up preparations as you do. And when I was there in 2015, as I said, they were in the process of making sure that the way they were making maps for tourists was going to work for the foreigners that they were being targeted at. So they were rolling those out across universities to test them. One of the interesting things that I thought, that I remember being on that questionnaire, was they were testing what people thought of the various symbols for Buddhist temples on maps. And you might think, why would they care so much about that? Well, that's because in Japan, the symbol used for this is the swastika, right? It's the original use of that symbol is Buddhist. So they wanted to know if for people from countries where perhaps it might not have that traditional meaning, whether that would still be an acceptable symbol. And I remember they were also testing like a little pagoda symbol on there. For the Japanese Shinto temples or shrines, jinja, it wasn't quite so much of an issue, because on Japanese maps, they're shown with a little torii gate, the red gates that you see at the temple, at the shrines. So that's easy. There's no untowards or alternate meanings for that in other cultures. But for the temples, they really wanted to check that one, as I think we could probably well understand. There we go. A trash can. But yeah, it's weird. This probably says more about Australia than it says about anything else. But for me, rainy days always trigger my memories of Japan. Just because, you know, growing up here, there wasn't too much rain around. There we go. Any sevens? Yeah, there we go. Let's see, one space. Yep, okay. Cool. Is it semi-arid there? You mean in Australia? How do you describe Australia's climate? It's a big continent, right? So we have a lot of different climatic zones. But yeah, if you take the landmass as a whole, it's largely desert. But in terms of where people actually live, we live in the fringes of the continent where it's not arid. But where I live, which is the capital city, as I've said before, Canberra, it is a semi-arid climate. So, yeah, it's pretty dry here most of the time. Rained today, which was nice. I wasn't well enough to enjoy it, but really important. The larger part of Australia that I live in is suffering ongoing drought, so it's good to know that there's a little bit of relief for people who are more reliant on the rain than I am. Obviously, we're all reliant on the rain. Is this a bomb or a cherry? Oh, it's weapons, so it's a bomb. But yes, so it is pretty arid here. Oops, there we go. Do you mind? Thank you. One, two, three, space, one. Cool. Oh, that one's also 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, space, 1, 2, 3. Good stuff. Alright. So yeah, I guess that's why, for me, I fucked up there. I fucked up that. That's better. Whenever it's a rainy day, I do think of Japan. Just because it was the first place that I saw a lot of rain. Los Angeles is semi-arid as well. Yeah, I've heard that Australia has very similar climate to Southern California. It's really bright here as well. Like, our sunlight is very strong. That was one of the weird, like, daily life things about Japan, actually. In Australia, you can just buy these giant, like, jugs of sunscreen because you're never going to need to use a small amount of sunscreen. Like, you're always going to need a lot. But in Japan, like, you couldn't buy large amounts of sunscreen, or if you could, I never found it. But I mean, like, you can still burn from the sun. So I would either bring some over when I was back home. I would just pack some to make sure that I had it, or I would just not go in the sun. Not going in the sun, honestly, is my primary method of dealing with sunlight in Australia as well. So, you know, that works. 1, 2, 3, 4. We've got all 4 now there. Got all the ones for that. Oh, it's done already. What's this? Is it a little car? Or a truck? A dump truck, maybe. Yeah. And so it wasn't just the sunscreen, but also, like, it was every time I wore my sunglasses, like, someone would comment on it. They'd be like, wow, you're so cool, or something like that. And I'm just like, guys, it's just like recommended sun protection for the eyes. And I am very fair. So, like, for me, not going in the sun is probably the best possible way to not burn. And it just blew my mind. The Japanese people were just like, wow, those sunglasses, hey. I was just like, guys, you should have them too. No. Definitely a big surprise that so few people in Japan wore sunglasses. Yes, we've got some more people in the chat that are also fans of not going in the sun. I suppose it's not entirely surprising to find such people in a Twitch chat, right? Not to disparage anyone's fine character. When did I start learning Japanese? That's actually a really interesting question, because most people start learning like in high school, right? Like they get into anime and stuff and they learn that way. I didn't actually get into learning Japanese until I started college, until I started university. That's all right, Gopher. I won't ostracize you. In fact, if you'd like, I will send you out into the sun for things that I need so that I don't have to go into the sun. I will let you do that for me. That's how much I care about you getting your required sunlight. So, yeah, I started in the first year of college, of university. And the whole reason I started was because up until, this is a bit of a weird story, but until like the end of high school, maybe actually no, maybe like the second last year of high school or something like that, I wanted to become a computer programmer. In fact, a computer scientist I wanted to be. But I didn't get the support that I needed to take the courses that I really needed to. So on my own merits and with no one else's help, I got into like a advanced mathematics, like a bridging course for the uni while I was still at high school. But once I was there, I wasn't getting any support from like my parents or any extra support from my teachers or anything like that, which is fine. I mean, like teachers are busy, but my parents, if I was like struggling with something, rather than being like, okay, well, we'll get you a tutor or something like that, they'd just be like, oh, well, if it's too hard, you can stop. So good parenting, thanks. Guess I'll just give up on anything that's difficult, which I did, unfortunately. I gave up on the maths because I figured, oh, I'm not smart enough for this, which is a lie. If I got into that bridging course, I could have kept going. I just needed more support. Neither of my parents are really like into mathematics or science as part of what they do for their work. So it was all like foreign language to them, but they also didn't help me out with the stuff that I wanted to do. I wonder that too sometimes, Firebomb. Like I knew, like with no thought in my head that it would have been malicious, but you do wonder. Anyway, so I got really discouraged about that because ever since I was a little girl, like ever since I was like 5 or 6, that's what I'd wanted to do. I had wanted to be a computer scientist. And suddenly I couldn't do that anymore, so I was really aimless at the end of high school. But I got really good grades. So I decided to do arts, that's humanities, liberal arts, and Asian studies, which is also liberal arts, but with a focus on, well, Asian studies, right? Which is something that my university did at the time. They technically still do it, but they kind of gutted the program, so yay. Anyway, so I had studied like a tiny bit of Japanese back in primary school. So I moved around a lot as a kid because of my dad's work. And one of the primary schools that I went to, they taught Japanese as a second language. In Australia, it's pretty common for schools to... I fucked something up. God damn it. What is it? Oh, it's this. I bet it's this. I'm just gonna go ahead and hope that this is correct. Because those two are correct now, right? So that'll be the 1 and then the 2. Alright, well if it's wrong, we'll have to go back and fix it. So it's pretty common for schools to teach a second language, but the language that is taught is not consistent across like anywhere or anything, which is kind of dumb. So I learned a lot of different second languages throughout my schooling, and I did Japanese for the final 2 years of primary school, elementary school. And I always thought it was really interesting how their alphabets worked differently to ours. So I decided to study Japanese and linguistics. And then because, again, I didn't have any direction in my life, I did a double degree in that. And then I went on and did a master's, even though I didn't really have any career thing that I wanted to do with it. Which, once again, if I was to talk to anybody in high school or college right now, I would say work out what you want to do with your life first and then pick a course to study for it, rather than the other way around. If you'll excuse me, I'm just going to take a sip of tea. I'm drinking the peppermint and ginger rooibos tea again tonight. Whoops, I moved the mic away, so it was probably a bit quiet for you for a moment there. Rooibos, peppermint, and ginger tea tonight for my health. Oops, I got the mouse back. None of that. None of that shit. All right. Yeah, go for it. It makes such a difference, I think, if your parents support you in that way. More and more so, I think. All right, cool. So, sorry, I'm just counting. 4, 5, 6. So yeah, so that's a very long story to get to the central point of what you asked, which is I started studying Japanese in college, first year. And I kept going for, let me think, I started in 2008. Yes. And then I finished my master's in 2016. So 8 years I studied Japanese for. They say it takes 7 years to be fluent. And I definitely felt fluent enough by the end that I'm comfortable using the word. Some people, as soon as they can hold a basic conversation, are happy to use the word fluent. I'm a bit of a perfectionist, so for me, you won't catch me using that word unless I'm pretty confident that I can talk the talk, if you'll forgive the pun. But yeah, got there in the end. And it is quite a challenging language to learn for a native English speaker. When you're learning a second language, the linguistic distance, we call it, for want of a better phrase, between your native language and the language you're trying to learn is a big factor in how difficult you're going to find learning that language. I think this is a goldfish. Nope. And Japanese and English, very different languages. But, you know, got there in the end. Like I said, I fucked this up. How? Oh, god damn it. Yeah, go for it. Stick that in the chat. It's awesome. Fuck. What have I done? Can anyone see what I've done here? Is it this? I think it's this section, right? So let's make those like that. Then that. No, that's not going to work. Fuck. Clear rows 3 and 4, you reckon? I don't like this row either, so I'm going to clear that one as well. Alright. So when I say I'm fluent, I still can't say like every word in the Japanese language, and I will often, if I'm trying to say something, have to go and look up a dictionary to work things out. This is already looking better, this pattern now. There we go. Good. Good, good. Yep. Okay, yep. This is better. This is better. Okay. Yes. Sorry, I'm just really paranoid, so I'm paying extra close attention. There we go. Cool. Finally got there. I probably won't get that final star for completing without mistakes, but that's all right. Yeah, that's all right. We'll live. Can I unlock any of the 15 by 15s yet? Like, I'm not having... It's not like I'm bored, but it might be nice to do a bigger one. Ah, no, they're locked. That's a shame. Well, I actually want to go back then and have a look at some of the other game modes. Let's try mosaics. Okay, this is like what on the 3DS they called picross. Yes, I would. Yes, let's do this one. Oh Jesus, it's a big one. Okay, wow. Okay, we gotta readjust our brains for how to do the big ones now. Oops, that is entirely the wrong. There we go. Cool. Now for 18s, that will take us to here, right? Oh man. I haven't done one this big in ages. Conveniently, with these ones, they do have to kind of be like this, which does make it easier. Alright, so with 16, it will definitely go up to at least... Please. Joystick, be less crap. To here, and then... That's 10, and then here's 16, okay. Sorry guys, conversation will have to cease for a little bit while I work my brain back out on these. Alright, so 17, that's 10, and 7 is down here. Oh shit, fuck off! Why are you like this, you terrible directional nonsense? Stop. Desist. Alright. This is 17. 11 and 10 are already done. But I can probably do some block outs for those. So we've got 5 in the center, which means 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. These two are blanks for sure. And then... Where are we? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This one's a blank. Oh wow, it took you 5 hours to do that that second render? Jesus. Is that what was cooking your GPU the other night? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You know what this music actually makes me... What it actually reminds me of, which is very silly. It reminds me of Fallout 3. Because they played this kind of music in... on the radio in Fallout 3. Some of it, not so much the bossa. Alright, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And 1. That's 7 flat out there, so that's not going to happen. And then this one, okay. This is 12, 13, 14. Again to at least here. Same one for this. 12 is going to go to at least here. On the other side we've already done it. Then an 11 is going to go to at least here, always. 14 from the start is going to take us to there. And we have 2 more ones. For murky water, it has to render light bouncing around in the water. Oh my god. That does indeed sound very processor intensive. Where are we? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hope you enjoy streams of people counting numbers. So Gopher, to do stuff like that, is that built in Blender? Or is that something that you had to program as well? The murkiness and the fact that it's darker at the bottom compared to the top. Because I know you said you were writing some code because Blender's built-ins weren't working for you 100%. Weren't buttering your toast, weren't pickling your onions. I don't know why I said those things, but my brain demanded that they be said. Alright, well, these have to all be part of one big bit, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Alright, cool. Space 1, 2. Space 1, 2. Let's see what we've got. Oh, well, that actually makes that really easy. Hey, now we've got a whole, oh shit, fuck. Got fucked by the, control stick again. You know, you wouldn't think I'd be able to find a way to swear angrily at this game. This calming game, which is all about numeric logical puzzles and fun elevator music. But no, I have found a way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's the full 12. Never underestimate an Australian's ability to swear about anything, anywhere, anytime, anyhow. We will find a way. Alright, let's see. That's the 8, right? Fuck, no, that's a mistake. God damn it. Well, those two have to be like... Hang on a second. That has to be there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's what I thought. So there's some shenanigans going on here. I've made a mistake somewhere. And it can't be here. So it has to be here. Oh, I see. For some reason, my brain thought there was supposed to be 2 lots of 5. This is non-existent. This has to be like this. Better. Let's see. So that's our 14 done. This one will also be done. It has to go here. And then we've got, oh, for God's sake. There we are. And our 4 will be in here. So we can put those 3. I've got to say, Firebomb, and go for this refers to your render. When I first saw it, I also thought it looked like I was like, oh, is this what the inside of a washing machine looks like? Is this like an agitator for a washing machine? But then I was like, no, there are no washing machines with blades in the bottom. What are you talking about, brain? But that is what my brain saw in the first instance. Isn't that funny? Even though that is definitely not a thing that exists. My brain was like, oh yeah, this is totally that thing. No. No, it's not. Alright. I can't believe how much work. You know, this game cost me $10. There is so much game here. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's all 8 done. This is a 10, and we've got 8 of them done. So we can knock off these 3 down here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10, 11. This is going to sound really silly, but one of my biggest achievements of living in Japan was actually that I completed the Street Pass map on 3DS for Japan. I got all of the provinces, and there's a lot of them in Japan. I can't remember the actual number, but there's a lot. But I managed it. I street passed someone from every different province in Japan. And it wasn't like I was going out of my way. Like, every time I would go to Tokyo, obviously I would take it. But, yeah, apart from that. Fuck, is this how I balked something again? I must have done, because I have to be able to fit a 5 in here somewhere. God damn it. Well, these are going to be 6s. There has to be able to be a 5 in here, so... There's 4 of it. This one has to be wrong. That's the only possibility. Then that has to be like that. That better be right. Alright. And that's the 10. Alright, where to from here? That will be like that. These will be connected. Alright, so that's 17. I've currently got... Oh wow, brain is not here, so I'm going to have to do a lot of manual counting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. I think in the back of my mind I knew that was correct, but the back of my mind is not currently talking to the front of it. Alright. Please enjoy this music for a moment while I concentrate on making sure I haven't stuffed something up. Hello, Gobik. I'm doing a super chill stream tonight. Nothing exciting whatsoever. I'm not feeling very well. So I'm playing Picross, which is a game that I have played for many, many years. And I just can do... I can turn on row and column numbers to make counting easier. The game basically called me a pussy for doing that. So... You know, I don't know if I really can turn on row and column numbers to make counting easier, because I don't want the game to be insulting me like that. It called me a novice for having those on. How dare it? I can't accept that insult. I've been playing Picross since like 2000. Like, I've been playing it for at least 10 years, like probably not 10 years, but quite a long time. I'm not going to take that kind of insult from it. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. And that one is currently, what have we got? We've got 10 and then... well, I want to have 3 crosses, right? So it's going to be like that. Why don't you post that rant as a Steam review? All I wanted... Hang on. This isn't... No, yeah. Stop, brain, stop. I'm not placing that under my name on Steam. I'm not. Cool. Review, mostly positive. I enjoyed this game very much. However, the game basically insulted my intelligence when I wanted to turn on easy mode because I had an illness. Therefore, I still recommend this game highly, but just be aware that it was going to call you a pussy if you try and do things too easy. Guys, you know I'm sick because you know I would never use that word if I was well. I can say the fuck word with the best of them, but I am not a person when they are at their best to use what you'd consider gendered slurs. Time to quit the internet. It's been a good run. These 3 months, 4 months. But it's time to retire. I feel like there's a lot of that. It's kind of topical in the Australian news at the moment because without wanting to get into politics, very seriously not wanting to get into politics, there's an election happening in Australia at the moment. And so there's a lot of scrutiny on, understandable and very appropriate scrutiny on what candidates have said. I fucked up, this needs to be a 6. God fucking damn it. We can fix that in a little bit. What candidates have said on social media and stuff like that. And yeah. I've there's stuff all to do with these 2 rows that is just fucky at the moment. I'll go back and check it in a little bit, but we'll try and do the rest of everything first. Let's do that. Yeah, I'm being facetious. I also love the internet and being able to interact, but it is easy to how can I put this? Oh, you know what? I'm just going to put it the exact way that that I've heard the stream that I'm always watching, VineSource, put it, which is that if you stream too much, you get too comfortable on stream, right? And you start talking on stream like you would just like in front of like people that you know and stuff like that. But you know, this is not people you know. This is the internet. This is available in perpetuity, basically, forever. So technically, if you're on the internet, you kind of need to be on your guard about that all the time. You know, like, would I be happy with this being spread across the internet in a viral meme? These words that I've said? No, probably shouldn't say them then. But I'm just gonna go ahead and temporarily assume that my my low profile is going to be enough to stop me saying something that on the internet is very innocuous from going viral in a terrible way. This is a very cheery musical track. It's trying to cheer me up. Oh yeah, this has been a paid presentation because Australia isn't real and we're all paid actors. Alright. Let's see. Oh boy. Oh, this is very ugly. Alright. Alright. What have we fucked? What have we fucked? Let's see. It's a 4, 5. That's a 5, 4, 5, 6. 3 is correct. 5, 6, 4 is correct. 11 and 4 is correct. 13 and 4 is correct. 14 and 3 is correct. 2 20s. That's a 14 and 2 1s, also correct. A 12, yes. And 2 2s, correct. An 18, correct. 2 and a 12, correct. 11, 11, 3 and 5, 2 and 4, 2 and 3, and 3. Okay, so all of our rows are currently correct. All right, then there's 11, 12, 14, 14, 12. Is that 8? Let's have a look. Yeah, that's an 8. This is a 10. This one is too short, okay. How do I mark? Hang on, let's just go ahead and delete this whole row if we know it's wrong. And we can reverse engineer it around that. We've got 12. That's correct, and then a 1. 17. Yes. 16. Yes. 2 and then 11. Yes. 10. Yes. 4 and 4. Yes. 2 and 5. Yes. Like I said, this is going to be reading numbers out loud the stream. I might go back to smaller puzzles after this. 2 and 6. Yes. 3, 3, 6. Yes. 7. Yep. And then a 9. Yep. And again the same. And then 8. 8. All right. So how the hell did I have just one off, but apparently no rows were incorrect? I must have miscounted somewhere, right? So that's none of this, right? Okay. That's a 5 and 4. Yep. 5, 6, and 3. And then it's got to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay. This one is now 1 too long. But this can't be fixed. Like, this has to be here. I can't make this one any shorter. God damn it, I'm just going to have to give up on this one. I've been going at it for 20 minutes and I'm just going to have to give up. Hang on. Maybe I can, here we go. Go with, if I turn that on, then maybe it will let me, yeah, so I know that one's wrong, but it doesn't, oh, here we are, it's this one, okay. Okay, so we'll stop that. There we go, and then this one as well. All right, let's try again. It's not F yet, Govik. We're gonna try and salvage it. Yeah, Gopher, I know what you mean. The sort of fear of people finding out the dumb shit you said as a kid is very real. Alright, now this one is wrong, so we're going to delete this. Okay. We're going to fix this one up. Then that has to be like that. Oops, these ones are all auto-faded out. These are now also auto-faded out. Just reading the chat again, don't worry about it. Oh, yeah, scones. I could go scones. Scones are nice. Yeah, some good scones. Jam and cream. Oh man, now I want scones. Food talk on stream is dangerous. So that's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yes! Oh, thank God. We had to turn on baby mode, but we got there. Now let's not go back. Oh, fuck off. I'm not doing another. How many is that? Freaking, it's 20, right? I'm not doing another 19 of those. I'm not doing it. It's not happening. Is Linnie going for the perfect week? You mean a week where I stream every day? I think I said this on stream the other night, but I don't remember what time or if you were here. There's an achievement on Twitch where you get if you stream 25 out of 30 days, and I am very highly motivated by achievements, which is bad. What's this? A sprint or a triathlon or a marathon? Oh my gosh. This sounds interesting. I don't know if I'm up to sprints, but I could give it a go. Give it a try. I'm currently at 23 of 25. So I think depending on whether I streamed like 3 weeks ago on this date, I could be up to 24 out of 25 tonight. And then I'm just going to keep streaming every night until until I get that 25 out of 30. And then I'm going to hope that they don't have another achievement after that that's like 50 out of 60 or something. But even if they do, I'm going to give up on it because I'm sorry, but unless you are doing this professionally as your job, that's too much. That's too much time. Even 25 out of 30 is a bit much, but I do enjoy the streaming, as you guys know. So, you know, I like hanging out with you. And I just found today this Picross, which is not only a game that I've played for years, but also a game that I've traditionally played when I've been unwell. So it's very appropriate to be playing it today. Hooray for arbitrary targets with digital badges attached. Yes. Yes. Necro, what Chinese takeout did you get? I want to enjoy your food vicariously through your description of it. Alright. I have hydrated myself. Let's have a go at this sprint. I don't think I'm going to do too well at it, but, you know, let's give it a go. Let's give it a go. Alright, oh, fuck. Not good with the controller. Hang on, we're switching to mouse if it's going to be a sprint. I don't know how to control using the mouse. Let's... Oh god, no, that's horrible. I can't do that. Alright, rip time. But, so that's going to be there, and then that's not that, and then... Oh god. Oh god, this is... My brain is in large picture rather than small picture mode. I am doing very poorly time-wise here. It's that there, and then there, and then there, and then we're done. Okay. Oops. Oh god, why am I like this? Why am I like this? Why am I like this? Because I'm sick. Because I'm sick. Because I'm sick. Also because I'm not, you know, like super brilliant at Picross. There we go. And we've got a 4 down here. Let's start with that. Oh, we started talking about food and I was thinking about Japan, and now all I can think of is like all the delicious food I ate at the konbinis in Japan. Oh my god, I want to eat konbini food right now. So, convenience store food in Japan is not on the same level as convenience store food in any other country. It's actually good and amazing. It probably still isn't that healthy for you. Like, I bet it's got a lot of salt. And like saturated fat and other nasties, but But my god, it's so good. Let me think, what were my favorites? I really liked the omelets rice. And the pastas were really good. For a while there, they were doing a beef stew pasta, which sounds disgusting, but was actually really amazing. It was this delicious, savory sauce on just spaghetti. And there was like bits of beef in it. It was good. Oh look, it's on the there's a freaking leaderboard for this. I don't think we need to see that, right? Thank God I changed my Steam name to match my my stream name, right? All right. What's the endless mode? Oh, okay. It's just a random one. Hang on. Go back. I want to go and have a look at the workshop. I wonder how we can sort these. Oh yeah, we want to do by size, right? So let's do a yeah, minimum of 5, maximum of let's make a max of 15. I'm a little bit shy of the giant ones after the 20 that we did last time. All right. Oh, meme. Should we do meme? Let's do meme. Oh my god. Sorry, I just saw that Conman wrote that they had a bubble tea flavored panna cotta. I want that like immediately. Where did you get such? You make sure to tell me somehow how you got that, because that sounds outstanding. Necro's got double fried chicken with veggies with sweet plum sauce. Yeah, that sounds good. I've got to say I'm not a huge fan of the sweet sauces, but let's face it, if it comes on double fried chicken, it's going to be tasty. All right. Let's see. Hope it's not a gamer meme. Let's find out. I hope it's not a an explicit image myself. All right, so this is a 13 by 13, which is kind of a weird proportion, but all right. Oops, that is the wrong button. For fuck's sake. Can I use this? Yeah, I can, okay. I've switched to the D-pad on the controller because the stick was just being a huge butt. Well, the D-pad is also a huge butt. Okay. I'm playing in baby mode now in case anyone hasn't noticed that yet. Good stuff. Okay. Oh, and the edges as well. Now guys, if you work out what the meme is before I finish it, you make sure to let me know. Shit. The fact that it's separated into 4 panels is making me extremely, extremely suspicious for what it is. Gopher as well, I can see. Hang on, it might not be. Despite all appearances, maybe it's not lost. Oh, I started on the wrong spot. Oh my god. Oh dear, it definitely is. It's definitely lost. Oh no. Why does the internet got to... I clicked on this. I don't know what I was I thought it was going to be like maybe a rage face or like a Peppy the Frog face or something. I wasn't really expecting this, but I don't know why. That seems awfully naive of me to not expect this. Oh my god, they even did the colors. Yes. Yeah, you can. Yeah. You get a thumbs up. You did the meme. Well done. Can we do any different things here? I was hoping. Oh, you can do it based on theme. Okay. Let's what kind of a theme might we search on? I'm gonna look for Japan, since we're talking about it. Nothing? Okay, what about flower? There's a few. Alright, and there's a few votes. Let's go this one. Oh, Firebomb. Lost is just a stupid old meme. I used the entirely wrong button. Stupid old meme. How would you even talk about loss? It's like, it's sort of like when a not serious webcomic tried to handle a very serious topic and it just came off kind of weird. And the reason why it's become so memeable is that it can very easily be represented just using straight lines. So that series of lines that I just completed in the Picross is a representation of how the characters are laid out in the comic strip panel. And it's just, because you can post it in chats and things like that, it's just become very memeable, and you can hide it in all kinds of things. Oops. There we go. Is this a rose? That's pretty nice. Yeah. People started making fun of it and became a challenge to represent it minimalistically. Yeah, that's a good description. Yeah, that was nice. I like that. Yes, A. Okay. The second one in the list is called Chinese characters. Wait, no, I didn't want to continue. Hang on, how do I go back? Alright, well, we'll clear this. Chinese characters. Alright, I'll do it. I'll give it a go. How big is it? 15 by 15? Yeah, alright. I can do that. Oh god. I'm keeping baby mode on, by the way. Because I am tired and brain dead. Alright, let's see. I'm just reading up the chat for a moment, because I still do have to turn my head to see the chat, and when I'm looking at Picross, I am looking at the Picross. The panna cotta is from a place called Momoda. Interesting. Internet culture is weird sometimes. Just sometimes. I'm yet to find a time when internet culture isn't weird, personally. Oops. Oops. Double oops. Alright, so anyone in the audience, if you are good with your Japanese characters, or Chinese characters rather, and you work out what the character is ahead of time, feel free to call it out for the rest of us. There is a functionality with Twitch integration that will allow people to guess, like using a thing in the chat, but I haven't enabled it today. If there's an interest, I could set up Twitch integration for next time. No, that's not going to be that. That is going to be part of the 7. All right, I can sort of see what's starting to form here. The only character that I know off the top of my head that finishes like this. Actually, no, it doesn't, because the one I'm thinking of, it goes down here as well. So yeah, I'm not sure what this one is yet, but we'll keep going. We'll have a look and see if we can find it out. Sometimes internet culture is wholesome and straightforward. Yeah, that's true. Sometimes it is very wholesome. But, yeah, I don't know. I don't know that I could necessarily, off the top of my head, say that I could think of a single time when the word strange didn't come to mind. Like, people get so fucking weird on Twitter, my god. And I mean, like, I'm weird. I'm just generally a weird person, so I feel like that means everything I touch must turn to weird as well. Alright, what have we got happening? What is it in Alice in Wonderland, the Disney movie version? Most everyone's mad here, that the Mad Hatter says. Alright. Got some characters emerging. I'm doing all the horizontal lines first, of course. Which doesn't really help show me the overall picture. Alright, is this a 7? Yeah, that's flat out just a 7, so that's alright. Cool. Any Chinese readers in the chat have a clue what this is yet? I'm just trying to work it out myself. I mean, if it is a true Chinese rather than Japanese character, I will struggle with it because they use the characters differently. Some of them are simplified compared to Japanese, some of them aren't. Well, let's see. I mean, these ones have to be together, right? Yeah. And then the same here, these ones have to be together. Right, I mean, I can see what's happening here, but, I mean, this radical on the left, shit, go away, looks like the one that's in mourning. Yeah, the left part is definitely, well, I was going to say definitely car, but look, it doesn't have the center line. In Japanese, it would have to have the center line to be car here. It's, at the moment, it's like the left-hand part is the left-hand part in Korea. Like, it's sun, isn't it? What have I made a mistake with? Oh, over here. Alright, which one have I fucked up? I mean, this has to be here. But where's the extra? Well, those have to be there. That has to be there. Oh, I see. No, I'm an idiot. Idiot is not the right word. I am tired. There we go. What the fuck are you? Han. Okay, hang on. I'm going to write this down so I can look it up for you. It's like, oh, my writing order's all out of whack. So, go above. Yes, it does. All right. I'm just going to need 1 minute, guys, and you're not going to have any music during this time. Oh, actually, you wouldn't anyway because of where we are. Okay, give me 1 second. Now I've got to try and find the dictionary that I use to look things up. Oh, there it is. Thank God. It's the top of the Google search results. All right. Gopher, you can understand spoken Chinese fluently, but speak Chinese like a child, yeah. And then the text just looks like random lines. Well, I mean, if you don't learn the writing system, it's not going to be much help if you speak it, right? Because writing is just an arbitrary representation of sound. Now, is that... I'm going to try writing it as though the left radical was car first. Okay, so it's got 2 lines and then this, and then it goes here and it has a flick. Do we use this character in Japanese? How do I... Hang on. If I was writing morning, how do I do that? I wonder if I can show you guys what I'm trying to do. Let me just bring OBS up for a moment. Yeah, do that. And then can you like show me that before I show the rest of the stream? That'd be cool. I mean, I don't have anything like incriminating up on the screen, I guess. Hang on a sec. Oh, hang on. No, I don't have to, because all I have to do is go in here and then I go to this display and then I just go okay and then I crop that. In any case, it should be fine. I can't see you, by the way, chat, so you better not be posting memes. All right, so if I show that and then do I crop from in here? I can't even remember how to do this. You know what? It's fine. You can just see all of it. So what I'm doing at the moment, I'm just going to bring this to the top so you can see it. All right, so hopefully there's no weird shit on my screen. This allows me to write the kanji in to look them up. So what we have here is I think my stroke order is correct, but let's just hope like hell that it is. Otherwise, I'm going to have to turn ignore stroke order on. All right, so we've got this like that. Wait, shit, no, because we don't have the center line. Hang on. So like this, and then this, isn't it, for one of these? And then you do this, that, and there. Yep, okay, I got the radical order correct because it's showing up the correct characters on the right. So this one that I've got highlighted now, this is the one for like morning, I think. I hope. Yeah, morning, thank God, and also Korea. So that's the left-hand radical. Then the right-hand radical I don't think we use in Japanese. So it's got 2 lines, and then it's got a hook. Shit. A hook. That's better. And one of these. Let's just try that written a slightly different way. So if I go this and this, and then we do this, and then we do this. All right, it doesn't make a big difference. So I don't think we use this character in Japanese. I'm just trying to think if there's an alternative reading for it. Oh, it's the character for South Korea in Chinese? Oh, so it is simplified Chinese. Right. So the Japanese variant is this, right? That one. Yep. There we go. Do you feel educated, chat? Thank you, Conman. And I'm going to go ahead and assume also Star Child. Can hide that. This has been your linguistics lesson for the evening. Now where the hell is all my crap? I've got to rearrange all my windows now. Hang on. Get Twitch back up there. Get the game back up. There we go. Cool. Firebomb says you'd imagine Asian languages are much more common in Australia. Well, I mean, like, obviously there are a lot of people in... She was yelling, look at chat. Sorry. there are a lot more people in Australia, I would think. Well, I mean, like in terms of sheer numbers, there's actually probably more people in America. But in terms of proportion, there's probably... Wait, there's other Chinese characters? Oh, hell no. No, 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 no. Oh, wait, no, it's food. Food I'll do. Food I can absolutely accept. If anyone has any other things they'd like me to try looking up, any other keywords to look for picrosses for, go ahead and hit me with those. But yeah, proportionally, we have a pretty high amount of people here who speak Asian language, either as a first or a second language. Like, we have a lot of people whose parents emigrated from Asian countries when they were kids or before they were born. We have a lot of international students here. People from China and other countries in the region, but especially China, because our government and universities have been heavily advertising to them, have been coming here for university. So what have we got here? 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Wow, that one there. All right. So, I mean, when I was in primary school, I lived in an extremely multicultural part of Sydney, which is the biggest city in Australia. So I've sort of been used to having multiple languages spoken around me since a very young age. But, yeah, I mean, we have our share of people who aren't happy with Australia's multiculturalism as well, but for me, it's been something I've grown up with since a very young age. Plus, I've been on the other side of the coin, you know, like, or the other side of the tracks, maybe is the better metaphor there. But I've been a foreign immigrant. In Japan, if you're a foreigner, on your registration card, you're called an alien. It's your alien registration card. So, you know, I know what it's like to be in a country where you don't look like everybody else, and where you can't speak the language very well. 1 space 1 2 shit. So I have a lot of sympathy for people who find themselves in those positions. Plus, you know, Australia has a lot of good food as a result of our immigrant culture, so that's definitely something to enjoy. But there are also places where you can go in Australia where it is still like very white. Australia had a policy of immigration for many... Did I fuck that up? I sure did. I surely did. Australia had a policy of immigration for many years that kept anyone from becoming a permanent Australian resident if they weren't white. So that's a bit of national delight for everybody. And there's still people who think like that. When I was really young, the racists were after Chinese people, and now they're after Muslim people. So, you know, and so the wheel turns. But as I'm sure you've heard me say many times on this stream, I'm all for people being different. Just be nice to each other. Don't hurt each other. Create the best world for all of us to live in. You know, there's going to be some challenges this coming century, so just try and create the best world you can for everybody. And maybe it'll all work out. Where are we? Here's our 4. What food is this, guys? Can you guys tell yet? It looks kind of like a sleepy mushroom to me at the moment. Be excellent to each other. You're right. That is, you know, I don't think I've said this before, but Keanu Reeves is far and away my favorite actor. He's gorgeous. He's a really nice person, as far as we know so far. You know, he got a bit typecast for a while there, but yeah, he's my favorite. Be excellent to one another. Yes. I agree. You know, I didn't actually see Bill and Ted until I was like 25 or something like that. I had a really sheltered childhood. My parents didn't let me watch. In Australia, our rating system for TV and stuff goes G, which is rated for all ages, then PG, which is recommended parental guidance for people under 15 years. Then there's M, 15 plus, which is recommended for people 15 years and over, but they won't check your ID at the cinema. Then there's MA 15 plus, where you have to provide proof of age at the cinema if you want to see it, or if you're going to rent it on DVD. What? So I don't know. I guess these days having a credit card is enough to show that you're of age, maybe. And then there's R-rated, for which you have to be a legal adult, which in Australia means 18 or over. So my parents didn't let me watch any M-rated movies. That's, remember, recommended for people 15 and over, but they don't check your ID or anything until I was literally 15. So I missed so many movies growing up. Like, if you think of classic movies from the 90s, like Jurassic Park, haven't seen it. Well, I saw it for the first time like a year and a half ago, because my parents wouldn't let me watch any of that stuff. Of course, my younger sisters, they let watch it. You better believe that I will carry that grudge to my grave. Yeah, it's a burger. Who is that? Conman. Well done. That looks like a pretty excellent hamburger. All right, let's go back. Let's go back to the. Did we have any other themes that that people wanted me to look up before I go back to the prepared picrosses? Oh god, we've got another game that does that delightful thing where when I'm using the scroll wheel in the chat, it also scrolls in the game. Look up animals. I can do that. I'll just look up animal. Here we go. Can we sort by rating? That'd be awesome. Top rated, there we go. I know this is not necessarily the most scientific way to look things up, but let's do a 10 by 10. I'm feeling lazy. You guys have G, PG, PG-13, R, and NC-17. Yeah, so it's just that sort of teenage bracket that it works differently for you guys, which is so weird. Oh god, I keep using A in the wrong place. Okay. Remember, guys, if you know what animal this is, make sure to shout it out. If I was going to get people to do this, I really should have just enabled the Twitch integration. This yellow is not easy on my eyes. Alright, Oh yeah, Coman, you're absolutely right. We didn't have an R rating for games until very recently in Australia. I believe, although I'm not sure how true this is, but I believe, it's what I was told at the time, is that the reason why in Fallout 3 you have like stim packs instead of morphine, which is what they wanted to use, is because the Australian government said it would not release in Australia if there were any references to morphine. Or something like that, or they don't show the needle because the Australian government refused to release the game if it actively showed drug use. Something like that. Is this a weird bunny? Oh, is it a llama or a giraffe? Giraffe with breakfast. Oh, that is so cute. I can see why that has such a high rating. Yeah, you get a plus from me. Absolutely. Let's do another animal. Yeah. Oops, wrong one. Wrong one. Wrong one. Okay. Oh, fuck off. This joystick is not is not designed for the precise movements required for the professional picross player. I would like to lodge a complaint with Xbox. This is unacceptable. Alright, so back to Japan talk for a moment. I don't know why, but I was just reminded of this moment. One time my dad came to visit me. This is just sort of a like just good, I think we were talking about good food, right? Or something like that at some point in the past 2 or 3 minutes. I'm totally zoned out today, as we've already discussed. We were talking about kombini food, right? Kombini is convenience store, and you can get all kinds of healthy foods there. But that's not what I'm talking about. That's not what this anecdote is not about kombini. This anecdote is about one time when my dad came to visit me in Japan, and we were looking for some food. We needed to eat. We were going somewhere, and we were in a train station, and we went downstairs in the train station, and there was some restaurants there. And we went into this like really simple little restaurant, and all they did was these really, is that a penguin? It is! Oh, it's so cute. Hi, Kai. Pengy. Cute. You definitely get a plus for that, yes. Alright, I'm done with these. I'm gonna go back to the main ones. Wait, no. Okay. Oh, hang on. This is by the game people. Let's do this one. Is small, yes. Oh, this is a weird flippin' size, but let's go for it. And once again, we get that wrong. All right, so yeah, we just went underneath the station. There was this restaurant that specialized in serving like really that is a 25 by 20. Yeah, good. Okay, good. They specialized in just serving really simple, healthy meals. So we paid like $10 and got this tray of food, and there was miso soup and rice and side dish. I think I had maybe miso grilled. Oh shit! What's saba in English? Saba is mackerel, I think. And there was some pickles there, and a couple of salads, and oh my god, it was so good. Hang on, so 1 and a space, and then 1 and a space is 4, and then that's okay. So if I go and do this, the rest will be all filled in. Good stuff. And that's just like typical of my experience of food in Japan, that you just go anywhere and the food is amazing. I mean, I've had average food in Japan, sure, but more often than not, it was amazing. All right. That's a 3 there, and that's a 4 here. So this one is tagged video games. So once again, make sure you're paying attention, seeing what you can see. I'm just going to scroll up the chat a little bit because I did stop paying attention to you while I was making the small penguin. Yeah, Firebomb, I think you said a couple times before that you had that opposite experience and you'd seen things you probably shouldn't have. Okay, so Germany necro sounds pretty similar to us, I think. Isn't it like, doesn't anyone else think it's weird that like you can have like let's take Mortal Kombat 11 as an example, right? You can have like the fatalities in Mortal Kombat 11 are outrageously violent. They are so gory and disgusting and violent. You know, I'm turning 30 this year. I've been watching video games all my life, and every time Mortal Kombat comes out, I'm just like, this makes me feel sick to look at, right? That's fine. You can release that in Australia, but you see one titty, banned. Like, I mean, it's not quite that bad. I just find it strange that violence is so much more acceptable than sex. Anyway. Okay, that's interesting, Necro. I didn't know that about censorship in Germany. Where are we? Is it an original Game Boy? That's, yep, Comman, I bet it is, because it's just been the 30th birthday. Game Boy is just a little bit older than me. Oh, come on, you saw the fatalities in a public video on Facebook? Like, can you imagine if a child saw that? Like, they'd have nightmares. Because it is nightmarish. So what have we got? Yeah, that should be all, or almost all, right? Because that's 2 and there's 3 down the bottom, so that's a 5. So we can do almost all of this one. And then you can start filling in here. All right. 3, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Cool. I do have to keep moving my eyes. The best thing about the Picross on the 3DS was that it had to squish the what would you call it, the filling in, like the actual picture, into the same amount of space regardless of how many squares it was. So it made it very easy to keep your eyes on where the numbers were, whereas here I am gonna have to keep moving my head around a little bit. Yeah. Well, yeah, Kai, that's kind of the thing, right? I think most people are the same. Like, if they had to choose in their day between having sexual content and having extreme violent content, one of those things is more pleasant than the other. Although, that said, some people do find sexual content extremely confronting as well. Sometimes because of their upbringing, sometimes because they've suffered trauma. So, you know, if you're gonna do one, maybe do both. That is censorship, not don't go out and do some sex and then do some extreme violence, please. Like, I mean, like, usually I wouldn't try and tell you how to live your life, but, you know, when you're living your life, make sure other people can also live their lives comfortably, you know what I'm saying? One, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, there we go. This is so nice that the devs of this game released a special level to celebrate Game Boy's 30th birthday. Did I fuck that up, or is that correct? No, that's correct, right? That's got to be correct. Yes, yes, yes. Yes, yes, yes. I mean, that was an intuitive guess, but I'm pretty sure I'm right, right? Go. And then this one is here. Good stuff. Oops, that was the wrong button. There we go. Oh, this one's completely empty. And then this one needs to go completely across. That iconic shape. Who here had an original Game Boy? Oh shit, Firebomb, I have the same one! I have the translucent purple Game Boy Color. And yeah, it still works. Oh, that's so cool. I didn't really want to get, fuck, I fucked that up. I didn't really want to get the translucent purple one, but by the time I got around to buying a Game Boy Color, I didn't really have a choice. It was just what was left in the shops because I bought it very late in the cycle because I had to save up for all my own video game things. Like as a child, right? I had to save up my allowance, and my allowance was like $50 every 6 months. And then any money that I got for my birthday. So I had to save up all that money to buy my own game anything, which is why I didn't have a lot of games in my youth. Because like when you only have that small amount of money to work with per year, really, you got to be real discerning about what you get. And to this day, like, I still hold a grudge on this particular point. I saved up all year so that I could get that Game Boy Color, right? And then the day finally came. We went down to the shops. I was all, like, ready to get it. Is it Pong? On Game Boy? Or is it just, like, I can't tell what is supposed to be on the Game Boy. But, anyway, that's fine. Oh, it's 30! Oh, silly me. There we are. So the day came, right? That's definitely, I'm going to favorite that as well. I like that one so much. The day came. I finally, where are we? No, oh God, the menuing is a little bit confusing. And then back. There we go, okay. Day finally came. I went to the shop. Well, my mother took us to the shop. We were living in quite an isolated area at the time. If I'm going to be doing these small ones, I'm turning off Babby mode. I had all my money. I was so proud of myself for saving it all up. And then, like, right at my moment of triumph, right, when I was going to go buy it, my mum's like, oh, I'll pay for half of it and I'll get one for your sister as well. And, like, I was like, but I saved up for my Game Boy. Like, I saved up. How come she gets one? I saved up. It was me. And she's like, oh no, it's fine. I'll pay for half of yours. So I was like, oh, okay. And I was like, oh, well, I guess it's good because this way I save money. But I feel like my achievement, and for like a flipping 11-year-old, saving up all their money for a year and a half is a big achievement. You know, like I couldn't get any like movies or fun things that I wanted or toys by myself. I had to save, or like candy or anything like that. I had to save up all my money because this is what I wanted. And I just totally had the wind taken out of my sails. But why would you complain, right? Because you got to save money. Can you tell this has stayed with me, chat? Can you tell that to this day, I still think about that time? What do we got going on here? Is it a button? It's cute. It is a valve. There we go. Got those good scores there. I'm just going to zoom up the chat again because I got a little obsessed with telling my story and I stopped listening to you guys, which is very rude of me. Yeah, a few people have Game Boys, which is to be expected. Command, you said you guys used to play Tetris. Have you played Tetris 99? The Switch one? I feel like you're kind of like, knowing what I know about you, I feel like you'd be really good at it. I've barely played any Tetris myself in my life, so yeah. Well, yeah, but see, Necro, I think if you lose your wallet, that's definitely something you want to like never forget about because it's protective, right? If you remember that one time, every time you see your wallet, you remember that one time you forgot your wallet, that's protective. That means you won't ever do that again. I meant to say continue and I didn't. I gotta stop doing that. There we go. Oh, Necro, I get you. It's frustrating when people hold you to a higher standard than they hold themselves. Oh, another flower. That's nice. Alright. You guys have played Tetris 99. Have you been first? Once again, I kind of expect a yes to that. You haven't? Is that a duxu? It is! Duxu. Such magnificent creatures. Yes. That's a meme for those who are unaware. Oh, for fuck's sake. Come on. There we go. Fuck. Fuck! Nope. That's better. What's that? Oh, that's a better Twitch TV emote, Necro. I was admiring it. I was like, where is that handsome duck from? Guys, what the fuck am I doing? Where's my next move? Oh, it's down here. There we go. Insect. What kind of insect? What kind of insect is this? Is it like a moth? I can't tell what that is. It's a pretty generic insect. Firebomb, you can't see emotes. You can see probably some emotes. If you can see Twitch native emotes, you almost certainly can see those ones, right? It's just the extension emotes you can't see. Like if I, like the comment directly above yours from Necro, can you see the smiley face? Or are you using a particularly weird version of Twitch Mobile? A lot of weirdness out there on Twitch Mobile. Where are we? Oh, here we are. Just the extension ones? Yeah, I'm the same when I'm on mobile. It's so frustrating. Oh, Tetrominos, here's your Tetris. Twitch can remove every emote other than... No, they can't. Stop that. I want all of them. Yeah, I've got better Twitch TV and Francoface Z. But for some reason, animated emotes aren't showing up properly for me at the moment. So it's a good thing that I'm used to seeing the animated ones in their text format. So like Sour Please for me has always just been the text. I've seen it. I think there was one brief halcyon moment where I could use or not use rather, but see. There we go. Oh, I solved all the 5x5s. Jelly. Nice. Where I could see Sour Please, like it was like 2 or 3 streams and they stopped working. And I was like, well, I guess I'll go fuck myself then. And I've looked up a few things to try and fix it, but they're all like reinstall Chrome. And I'm like, nah. I'll just deal with not having those emotes if it's all good with you. All right. Now I think we've done this 10x10, so let's just go back because we started doing the 10x10s. Yeah, we started this one already. Did the goldfish and all right. Well, we can do the first one on this page. Let's try that one. It's fruits. I love fruits. Fruits are like my favorite food. Jellies are very cute, Gopher. I agree. I can't remember if I addressed this or not, but I meant to. Comment said that Starchild has also had the same experience of saving to buy something and then a sibling getting the same thing for free because the parents are like, oh, you should both have the same thing. Fuck you. No more like fuck me for putting the wrong thing in there. All right. Like if I want to save all my money to get something that I want, like give me that achievement. All right. Chat, do tell me if you see me doing something particularly silly with my placements. I can't promise I'll see you, but at least you'll have the what's the word I'm looking for here? Satisfaction of knowing that you were right and I was stupid. Oh wow, Necro, that's pretty intense. I love how humans are just so bad at, like, reproduction. Like, having a baby is very likely to kill a mother human compared to a lot of other species. We have, like, no control over our reproduction, almost, compared to other species. And our babies are so helpless. And, in fact, actively seek out things that will kill them. And then there's, like, other weird biological shit that can happen. If it wasn't for the fact that humans were so good at completely controlling the environment, let's face it, we would have been wiped out a long time ago. But, you know, it comes with its own set of problems, doesn't it? Alright, now what the fuck am I doing here? Oh, it's done. What fruits is this? Is it a melon? It is. No, it's an apple. Triggered my pregnancy phobias. I wouldn't say triggered. Like, I don't feel the fear at the moment. I'm just like, Jesus, human bodies, what the fuck? Tell that to the insects which have their larvae burst out of their abdomen. Well, I'll tell you something about those insects. They have a different breeding strategy. So in biology, there's two basic breeding strategies, right? One is where you have few offspring, but you put a lot of resources into them. And the other one is where you have lots of offspring and you don't do shit for them, right? Those insects subscribe to the second philosophy. They have lots of offspring and they don't do shit for them. Whereas humans are the first type. We have very few offspring, but we put a lot of effort into making sure they survive. So, you know. Most mammals are primarily the first type, even mammals that have a lot of babies. Although, actually, no, rodents, I would say rodents are probably more of the don't give a shit variety. But even so, they have massively fewer babies compared to, like, fish or insects. Like, even if you have 12 mouse babies, the mother still has to suck all those babies. She still has to keep them safe. Whereas fish, they're just like, we'll just drop our genetic material and you know, it will probably be babies at some point. In the meantime, we're either going to die or swim back to where we were before. All right, 3, 2... All right, all right, all right. I feel very relaxed after listening to this music. This is going to be another animal. What do we think, guys? What are we seeing here? Camel? I'm seeing a bit of a camel. Maybe not, but I can see something camel-ish. It's the genie lamp from Aladdin. Looks a bit like that too. Is anyone keen to see that new live-action Aladdin movie? I'm not. I heard a cynical... No, it's definitely not a camel. I don't know what the fuck I'm making now. I saw a bit of a cynical thing on the internet that's like the only reason Disney is making all these live action remakes. Fuck, I've screwed this up. is so they can hold on to the copyright for a lot of these properties. Because, I mean, originally a lot of them come from public domain stories, right? Fuck that one up too. God damn it. About that. No, because then that becomes a 3. Fuck! Gopher says, I'd say learning to control the environment is part of our evolutionary strategy, so you can't necessarily say we're bad at giving birth. Do you know how many women died before we had medicine? Or better to say, actually, in the periods of human history where we weren't prioritizing medicine for like childbirth and shit? Because it was a lot. Even these days, so many pregnancies would end more or less in death. If, I just want to restart this from the start, because I think it's fucked. And I'm also going to re-enable baby mode, because, let's face it, I'm having trouble. How do I get to settings from here? Options, there we go. Which baby mode will I do? Let's go full baby mode. What's awards? Oh, it just tells you what it is. Okay. Full baby. Fuck off, fuck off, fuck off. I said fuck off. There we go. We're pretty good at keeping mums and babies alive these days, yes. But it's still sort of an issue of having to highly medicate some people in order for them just to survive a pregnancy, which really should just be a routine thing that the body does on account of, you know, its survival of the species. We should just be able to do it. Oops, there we go. Alright. It's so much easier doing the puzzles when it tells you where to look. Necro, you were laughing at Will Smith's casting in the Aladdin movie. I don't think it's a bad casting decision necessarily. I mean, Will Smith's quite the character. But I mean, it doesn't need to be like super dramatic acting, right? I've got to say, I'm not really comfortable talking about like different actors and like what they're good at or assessing their performance in any way, shape or form, because I really haven't seen a lot of movies. We talked about this earlier, right? Because my parents are really restrictive about what they would let me see. So I never really developed that love for movies that most people have. So if a new movie comes out, I'm just like, oh yes, a movie. Okay. And then that's the last I think of it. It's very rare for me to be so excited about a movie that I actually want to go and see it. Maybe it's a frog? Let me think. When I was in Japan, since I said I was going to talk about Japan stuff tonight, but I didn't end up. Oh, it is Cheep Cheep. Look at that. Cheep Cheep. Cheep Cheep Cheep. pretty chicky. All right, we can take this off now. What was I talking about just before, guys? Japan movies, right? Good. So 2 movies that I went to see when I was in Japan. The first one was the remake of Evangelion. The third movie in the rebooted series. Let me think. That one's definitely going to be, yeah, okay. So I went to the theatre for that. 1, 2, 3, 4. Which was challenging, actually, because while I say, and I've said this before, I'm happy to say that I'm fluent in Japanese, but I'm also happy to say that I needed a dictionary for a lot of complicated words. And Evangelion has a lot of complicated words, right? It barely deals with everyday life vocabulary at all. It's all like freaking science and military terms. And some like really obscure loan words from English. And even then, often it's not from English, but rather from like anglicized Hebrew or something like that, because they have Bible themes in Evangelion. So that was a real challenge to watch that one for me in the cinema. But it was an experience, that's for sure. And then I also went and saw the first of the new Star Wars movies, The Force Awakens, in the theater in Japan, just because I really wanted to see that. And I was in Japan at the time. So I went and saw it. Okay, this is another animals. But what animals? This could be another bird. Something that I'd really love to find to be able to stream would be a game that really captures that everyday life in Japan or Japanese cultural elements thing. It's a bit hard to say I want to stream it, honestly, because I enjoy them for things about Japan that other people wouldn't necessarily have the cultural reference to enjoy in the way that I do. But I don't play games these days unless I'm streaming at the same time, so that's that. Oh, this one looks like maybe a rooster. Yeah. Good stuff. Just reading up the chat, as is my way. You know how I do. There was a trailer for the Aladdin movie where they showed what he'd look like, which looked bad. I've got to say, I wasn't very closely following all the media around the new Aladdin. Yeah. Are you talking about gross medical stuff, Necro? I'm just going to go back to not looking at the chat then. Gopher, you've had chickens then? My God. They are freaking violent. Fuck. Fuck. There we go. Space. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Stray chickens run around your neighborhood? Oh my God. Don't dogs get them? Or foxes? So in Australia, foxes are introduced species. We don't have any native species of fox, but we have plenty of feral ones. Thank you kindly, all the European settlers who just couldn't go without their fox hunting. Our native marsupials, thank you. Where are we? Invasive species, ruining ecosystems since people learned to travel. Quite so. I read a news article recently that said introduced pests in Australia, a species called the cane toad, has been found more and more recently in a part of Sydney called Parramatta. Yeah, they're not supposed to be there. They're spreading their range. They used to only be found in Queensland, which is further north than Sydney, significantly further north than Sydney, like hundreds of kilometres further north than Sydney. And yeah, they've been finding them in Sydney. And they're toxic to like frickin' everything. And yeah, they're very hard to kill. To everything, including humans, by the way. So if you pick one up, yeah, that's toxic to a human. We're just big, so it tends not to bother us quite so much as if your dog eats it and dies. But it still can make you pretty sick. When my family lived in Queensland, we used to freeze them. So if we found them in the garden, we'd catch them in a plastic bag and stick them in the freezer. I don't know if that's necessarily the humane way to do it, but that's the way that my parents told me you're supposed to deal with them. Here's a babby wolf, very cute. Gopher, do you get cane toads in the West? So here's the fun story of how cane toads came to be in Australia, right? So we grow sugar cane in Australia, also an introduced species, but you know, it's profitable. Wouldn't be the first time that people planted sugar to fuck native area over for the sake of profit. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, there we go. We had cane toads. No, we had cane, sugar cane, and then it got a pest called cane beetle. So people were like, okay, well, we'll just introduce a natural predator of cane beetle called cane toad and it will be fine. Yeah, it turns out cane toads love to eat the native frogs and other wildlife in Australia. And yeah, so that was good. Successful, very successful. Space 1, 2, space 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, I thought so. Whereas rabbits and foxes were literally just introduced so that people could hunt them for sport. Which is, yeah, fuck that. Even better, the cane toads didn't eat the cane beetles. Okay, I wanted to confirm that before I said it straight out, but yeah, if the cane toads didn't eat the cane beetles, that makes it even better. Oh, God. I've just finished saying how good humans are at controlling our environment, and then we're like, oh, by the way, biocontrol, the wrong species of cane toad, outstanding. That is wonderful. A beautiful story. Cane toads don't get as far south as Perth. Okay. I just read what Kai wrote. Now, we aren't supposed to laugh at stuff like that these days. However, that is absolutely what all the country kids did out where I was in Queensland as well. Oh dear. Yep. Yes, it's inhumane. Yes, it's inhumane. But people don't have a lot of sympathy for cane toads. Okay. This is a flora, guys. What type of flora is this? I can't tell. vines, you reckon, Gopher? I can see it. Let's see if I can keep seeing it. Fuck. There's a mistake in there. Hang on, we'll fix the rest of this shit up first. That's that, right? Then we do that. We do that. Then that. That's still fine. Okay, I think I fixed it. That seems to be alright now. Good stuff. Okay, so we were doing the right thing then, Kai, by putting them in a plastic bag. It's daisies. How nice. It looks a little bit like fried eggs. Toads have invaded northern national parks. God damn it. Let's not think about the fact that the world is going to be destroyed within the next 100 years, shall we? Let's just continue talking to each other over the internet using all the electricity. Stop it, stop it, stop it, stop it, stop it. It's fine. Computer. Oh god, we're back to computer. Alright. Wrong, wrong, wrong. Right, 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 right. Well, I guess it makes sense. It's boxy, right? Good stuff. And these two, okay. All right. Continuing on. So I think I've brought this up on stream before, but one of the weirdest things about Japan is kind of like people think Japan like high tech, right? But in a lot of ways, Japan is a lot more low tech than the rest of the world. So I'm almost certain I brought this particular anecdote up before, but in Japan, if you want to work in a workplace, you kind of still need to know how to use a fax machine. I'm pretty sure I was only talking about this on stream like the other night. But that just, it still blows my mind. Cool. And, you know, just like, what the fuck? There's a thing about the ATMs that you can't go to on the weekends or public holidays. I was thinking about something else. Oh, right. Something that really annoyed me when I was in country is that Microsoft licenses are more expensive in Japan. Like, at one point, I needed to buy a license. I can't remember why, for something or other. And I couldn't, because they geo-lock it, right? Microsoft geo-locks their stores. I couldn't get the Australian pricing, and it was going to cost me, in Australia, I could get a license for Microsoft Word for, I think it's $100 for Microsoft Word, 100 Australian dollars, which is like, I don't know, like 50 euros or something like that, or about 75 American dollars. And in Japan, it was going to cost me $300. $300! Just for, is that a floppy disk? All right, chat, hands up who is too young to remember this item. Anyone in the chat too young to remember this item, or to maybe have held one in their hand? What the fuck? Why did it start like this? Have I already done this one? They haven't been starting with the zeros blanked out before. Why are they starting now? What the hell? There we go. Common, you remember the old 5 1/4? I remember those. I still just remember them. I am just old enough. I remember playing with them when I was a little girl. Like when I was about 5. Go Bick, you had an old Chip and Dale game on a floppy disk? Yep. What did we have? We had a flying game on a floppy disk, I'm pretty sure. Oh, that's right. So it was the flying game that was on the 3 1/4. That's the one that you saw. And then we had a golf game called Lynx, and that was on 5 1/4. 3 1/2 and 5 1/4. Is that right? I can't even remember. Australia doesn't even use inches, but we use the same things. Gopher, are you? I don't see a capper on that. Are you genuinely asking how did they spin around? Or did you mean to put a capper on that so we knew that you were being sarcastic? There, it was a capper. Okay, good. Starchild remembers Vikings on floppy disk. Yep. I think I played that at a friend's house. I think in Japan, floppy disks were still common in business up until about the year 2000, or maybe even a little bit later than that. Like, you still kind of needed to have a computer at your business that could read them up until quite a bit later than the rest of the world, because in Japan they actually invented some better versions of floppy disks, higher storage capacity ones. Because one of the things about Japan is that it is fucking impossible to get people to change what they're doing. And that's why I decided to leave. Because what I was studying over there was second language acquisition, right? And I was studying specifically how Japanese people have trouble learning the word "the" in English. There's no equivalent of the word "the" in English. So I know we have in the chat a native German speaker. There is an equivalent to the English, more or less an equivalent to the English "the" in German, and in most European languages, in fact, there's an equivalent or something similar. Nothing like it in Japanese, so they have a lot of trouble working out when to use it. To be fair, other European language speakers also have trouble with the English "the" because it's quite a bit different to ours. Ours is really complicated. Like, there's like a discrete 8 specific reasons why you might choose to use "the." It all comes back to whether you've referenced the item under discussion in a context before or not. But like, that's quite a complicated thing to have to try and explain to a second language learner. So I did some research on this, and like, I could sort of see what was going on and how you might teach that better so that they could pick it up. But I knew from my experience that there was no way they were ever going to change what they taught. They already teach English in a terrible fashion in Japan, like in a way that will not help people learn. There you go. Snail, slimy boy. Very cute. Cute. Command, you had Sim Ant on the floppy disk. Very nice. I had that on a CD, but not until much later. Got it from a friend. Where are we up to? I wanna have a look at the various things that we've got here. So we're on to the 15 by 15s, so that means presumably... Oh, that's right, I forgot, we skipped the 10s. And it's not letting me do any 20s yet. It's like, no, you must prove yourself. before you are allowed to do. Oh, can I do random? Like, does that give me a random puzzle, or is that just give me random blocks to have to do? Probably just random blocks, right? Music. Alright, back to where we were then. Yawn. Sorry if I just made everyone in the chat yawn. Comment says PPAP was allegedly a satire of Japanese pop songs, but it may as well be a satire on how the Japanese education system teaches English. Oh God, you're right. I have a pen. I have an apple. Apple pen. Yeah, pretty much. Pen, pineapple, apple pen. God, I love that. I loved it so much. I can't remember if I was in Japan when it came out or if I was at uni in Australia. I don't remember how old it is. I remember very strongly that when the there we go, that's the button I want. When the dress meme came out, the blue and black or white and gold dress came out, I was in Japan because I remember being distracted from my work for the whole flipping day by how awesome it was and just reading articles about it. I'm such a nerd. Such a fucking nerd. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Alright, it's just that one. Okay. That makes life easy down here, doesn't it? Did anyone else when they were younger play or remember the Magic School Bus games? Fucking loved those. I loved the TV show. I loved the books. I loved the games. It was all brilliant. I was a real nerdy kid. I liked anything that was learning oriented. Three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. There we go. My favorite books when I was in primary school were these, like, I don't know what you call them, kind of these fact books. If you ever had them as a kid, you'd almost certainly recognize them. They're published by the publishing house Dorling Kinsley, and they just have all these cool facts in them. And they have pictures. It's really nicely laid out. In fact, I would go so far as to say that those books kind of defined what I like to see in the format of a reference book for the rest of my life. It's the same with even like recipe books. I like it to be white and clean on the paper, and then brightly colored photos to show you what's going on. So those books like made a huge lasting impression on me. Such a nerd. There was one on ecology, there was one on the weather, there was one on plants, there was one on animals. Love those things. I don't know if my family still has them somewhere in their house. But they make reference books for adults as well, the same publisher. I have a couple of books by them. One on minerals. I would like to buy the others, but I just can't really justify the expense. Especially since I'm one of those people who buys books but never gets around to reading them. I'm glad I could amuse you by saying pee-pee, Gopher. That's the highlight of my evening. Your joy? That's why I do this. Where are we? Have I fucked up? I totally have. God damn it. I am off my game on the picross. I'm just gonna go ahead and like delete this whole section and start again from scratch. Alright. So, there we go. Now this. There we go. We're already in much better shape. There we go. Panpipes? Pan flute, there you go. Comment you didn't play the Magic School Bus games, but you do remember the show. That's pretty good. The show is also good. I got the books from book club. Do you guys have that in your country? So in Australia, we had this thing, they still have it, where the kids get a brochure. They bring it home from school like every term. And there's a bunch of books designed for kids in there. When I was little, it was a mix of like educational books and also like just fun books like how to bead or something like that, which I suppose is also educational for kids, or like My Special Diary or something like that. And I remember I got the Magic School Bus books from that. I got all of them. Oh, Star Child's bringing back the nostalgia with some DOS games. They would be DOS games. This is accessories, by the way, guys. Oh, Kai's telling me he has another redneck song for me to listen to. Fake rednecks think it's awesome. Real rednecks like it because it demonstrates the dumb bravado style competition that fake rednecks make it. It's called Rednecker. Okay. Oh, Animorphs. Yeah, Animorphs. I remember Animorphs. I only ended up like reading the end of the series like a year and a half ago. And it was pretty fucked up. Just, I don't want to like spoil anyone, but like spoil anyone on a 20-year-old children's book series, but the ending was pretty fucked up to Animorphs. It was kind of a bit of a tonal whiplash issue. Like, I mean, yes, they were fighting a war against aliens on Earth, but they kind of didn't go in for quite so much dark as the way it ended. So it felt a little bit tonal whiplash, to me at least. What are we looking at here? Go for you were creeped out by the covers. Yeah, I get you. Like, they were morphing between like humans and animals. It's not exactly wholesome imagery, is it? Nope, it's better. In Singapore, you had the Bookworm Club. That's cute. With characters with names from common puns. That's so cool. Starchild, I have a question. In Singapore, when you're like at school, do they teach you, I suppose, what language do they use in the school? Do they use English and Mandarin, or just English, or just Mandarin? Or does it depend on the school? Because Singapore has like lots of official languages, or like common use languages. I went to Singapore on holiday like a bit ago. I don't remember. End of 2017, I think. And it struck me when I was there how like Australia it is, which kind of makes sense because both countries were being colonized by the British at around the same time. So the main city of Singapore is very like some Australian cities. It's also like a similarly built up country and economically developed, so it just has that similarity. What the hell have I done? There we go. Kai, that's great. You could tell what kind of bloke you were dealing with in primary school by whether they were a Rachel fan or a Cassie fan. Well, I suppose you could go the other way too, right? By whether they were, by which of the boy characters that they were a fan of. Whether they were a fan of, who was it? There was Jake, Marco, Tobias, and I suppose Axe as well. And yeah, Tobias was my favorite. To the extent that I might, like, if I were to ever, we discussed the fact that I'm not probably ever going to be having a child, but if I were ever to be having a child, Tobias is definitely one of the boy names that that I like. Where are we? Oh, this one can. There we go. Tobias was mainly a bird. He could have chosen at any point during the later part of the series to become a human permanently. But he didn't because he wanted to keep fighting. So... let's see. 12 would take... oh shit. 12 would usually take me up to here, plus the 1 goes to here. Tobias! I don't know the quote. If someone can get me the quote from The Simpsons, the Australian episode, I will read that in the Australian accent that I do. The people who hate the Australian accent aren't even here tonight, so we can do it without fear. But yeah, Tobias is a beautiful name and I love it. There we go. And 10 will be 2 less than that. Oh shit. And then we've got, for this one, space 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. Where are we? So in Singapore, school was in English, and then mother tongue lessons were only 4 hours per week. Jesus. How in God's name are you supposed to learn Chinese writing in only 4 hours per week? You must have had to do more classes for Chinese, right? Alright, what do we got? Four hours per week over 6 years. That still seems... although, I've got to say, I'm thinking of it from a Japanese perspective. Chinese characters are simplified, and it is actually a little bit simpler than Japanese. But even so, Jesus... same in high school for 4 years. I guess 4 hours per week over 10 years is quite a lot of time, but even so, like, I guess once you speak the language first, that also makes it easier. But, yeah, I'm just scarred by my experience of learning Japanese. Where are we? All right, if I read this quote out, someone has to clip it, all right? That's my condition. If I read it out, it gets clipped. $900 dues! Tobias, did you accept a 6-hour collect call from the States? There you go. How was that? How was that, chat? Was that good? Was it good for you? All right. So there's a funny thing about being a foreigner in Japan and being able to speak Japanese, right? It's sort of like when you can't speak any Japanese or you only have a couple words, people sort of understand that they can't speak to you in Japanese. So if they can speak English, they'll try. And then when you're like sort of moderate at Japanese, you'll get complimented constantly on it. Like people will be constantly like, "Nihongo jouzu desu ne," which is you're good at Japanese. And then once you're really good at it, they stop making comment on it altogether. And I was so pissed because the last time I went back, when I left in 2016, I was at the stage where people weren't commenting on it anymore. And in fact, I had several experiences where actual Japanese people had come up to me, the very obviously Caucasian lady, in various, like not just in my hometown, although also there, but they had come up to me and like asked me questions like, "Do you know where this is?" Like in Japanese. They didn't even bother trying English or anything like that. I obviously had the look and I had the Japanese proficiency that people didn't comment on it anymore. And the last time I went back in 2017, people were commenting and they were like, "Oh, Nihongo jouzu desu ne," again. And I was like, God damn it! Those years! And now I'm back to getting complimented on my Japanese. Amazing. I'm just gonna scroll up the chat. Hello, comrade. Welcome to the stream. If you didn't arrive in time to hear my $900 dues, make sure you check out a clip of that because I was quite proud of it. Okay, so if you're from an English-speaking family, then no, not really. Exposure. That's interesting. Especially the mystery vow and collect. What did I say? Hang on, where are we? Did you accept a $900? Hang on. Did you accept a 6-hour collect call from the States? I might have done a New Zealand vowel in collect. Did I? Did I raise it? Did I go collect? Yeah. I almost said amazing and wonderful at the same time and said a wonderful. A wonderful. The authentic experience would involve many more four-letter expletives. Yes, indeed. Starchild mentioned that there's a meteor shower on this weekend. This was the perfect Picross level to bring that up on since it's the moon. I read about it this morning on the news, and apparently one of the reasons why this meteor shower is going to be particularly good is because it's the new moon this time around. This is going to be specific to the southern hemisphere. So if you are from the northern hemisphere, I believe you can still see some of it, but it's specialized to the southern hemisphere. You will be able to see it better on our side of the world compared to you guys. Sorry. You get like the whole world catered to your seasonal stuff, and we occasionally get to see some sky shit that you don't. So there you go. That's pretty good, man. You got competence by association. Loud Linny. Is my vocals like clipping a lot more than it used to? Because I did some adjustments to it because I was kind of quiet, and now like am I too quiet? Like sorry, am I too loud now? Like, it's so difficult to get the audio balance right unless you are actually using a serious business microphone. Fuck again. There we go. There we go. Good stuff. We're basically passing through the dust that got Thanos off Halley's Comet. You know, even 6 months ago, you would not have been able to say Thanos off. Oh, actually, no, you probably would. Since Infinity War, you probably could have said that. Thanos off. What a time to be alive. Kai sent me a translated into real Australian version of the previous quote. Let me finish this picross and then I will read it out if it's not too profane. Or let's face it, probably even if it is. There's a particular word that I'm not dead keen on saying on stream that I don't know if it's going to be in there or not. Just the one. What did I just do? Yeah, stop. What are you doing? Better. Right. What are we looking for this time? Lighting. So it's going to be a lamp or something, right? Audio's fine. It feels like you either don't have a pop filter or it's super small. Okay, well I do have a pop filter, but I changed it from being what it was before. I also altered my sound settings. So I used to have a super strong, what would you call it? Band on my equalizer to reduce white noise up around the range at which my lisp occurs. And I took that off, but if it's because I actually listened to a couple clips. Thank you guys. I want to say for those people who do make the clips of the more entertaining moments, I really appreciate that. I really enjoy seeing what you guys enjoy in the stream. Is this exactly an 8? It is. Yeah. Okay. And I was listening back to a few of those, and there is definitely more white noise in my mic setup compared to how I had it before. So I might fiddle around with it on the weekend and see if I can change that back, or if not back to something even better. It's a constant struggle and it's a constant trade-off with this, and the only real way to fix it permanently is for me to get a better mic, and that costs a lot of money. So I'm going to give it a year and see if I'm still into this streaming thing after a year. Then I'll buy the $500 microphone that you need to really get good quality sound. But the other thing is I don't like using separate mics, like mics that sit on the desk or that you have to put on an arm. I would much prefer a headset mic, which means buying a really expensive one because you need to get that audio quality. But then there's also all your EQ and everything, and it's just not something that I have a lot of experience with. I've never worked in radio or sound tech or anything like that. So it's all just me fucking around, hoping that I get what I want. No C words in the translation? Excellent. This game is, it's called, what's it called? It's called Pictopix. It's Picross, which is a puzzle game that allows you to make a picture. In this case, a lamp. Conman beat me to it. Background music feels like a cross between Super Mario Bros. 3 and Ice Climbers. I get that. Yeah, I hear it. Oh, you literally sent me a recording, Kai, rather than words. If you type that out, I will say it. I see also that Starchild has sent me a picture of the bubble tea panna cotta, and it looks amazing. Good stuff. Picross is a Nintendo name, right? I did wonder if that was why. All right, where are we up to? I want to see how far through we are because I am starting to flag. I am still tired and sick, quite sick. So let's quit this one. Oh, we're so close to... Oh, but it's more 15 by 15s. I am so far away to being able to unlock any of the 20s. Which, you know, is probably just as well because I don't think I have the brain power to be doing 20s tonight. They do require a little bit more effort. Yeah, Necro. Well, to get really good quality audio equipment, it is very expensive. The good news is, though, I actually know where in Canberra I would go to get what I would want now if I wouldn't find it online. Because in order to find the pop filter that I have currently, I did actually have to go like to a specialized audio store because it turns out they're quite hard to find, the small ones, because I just have a little small mic on the end of my headset. So yeah, speaking of little small ones, speaking of hitting the wrong button once again. It's wrong, isn't it? It's like that. There we go. Alright, well that's all the 4's done here. What should I stream tomorrow, guys? There's 10 of you here. I'm willing to take suggestions. Do I have my... If anyone wants to see what games I have, my Steam library should be public. I think I have it set to public. I'm not playing Fork Knife. I'm not playing Fork Knife. It's not happening. I've got a couple Switch games. So if you have a particular Switch game you'd like to see me play, you could suggest it and I'll let you know if I have it. Other than that, my Steam library is where things are going to come from, depending on, do you mind? On what I want to play. I did accidentally, this tends to happen, I accidentally bought some things on Steam when I was buying this. It suggested a couple other things to me. And I was like, well, they're on sale. I can't not buy them now. One was this fun little puzzle game suggested by Amanita Design, who made Botanicula, which is the first ever game that I played. That's something that I've considered for tomorrow, doing another one of Amanita's games. Samarost, probably. Or rather, Samarost 2. Samarost is a browser game. But, there's that. But I have tons of games. I am not... Okay, so let's... Starchild, let's start with this, right? First of all, you aren't... Like, I went on Steam and had a look at Nightshade. So for those who don't know, Nightshade is a visual novel. It's an otome game, which is like... It's a romance novel for girls. That was the wrong button. So there's no actual sex, but it's like romance, right? And I actually had a look at it on Steam. I was thinking about whether I wanted to get it on Switch, because it's very expensive on Switch. It's like 70 Australian dollars, which is the same as like a AAA game that you get freaking 40 or more hours out of. Conveniently, I also got way over 40 hours out of this game, so I don't feel like I was ripped off, apart from the fact that we're always ripped off for game prices in Australia. But, so I was looking at whether I would get it on Steam or on, what is this? Is it Pram? It is. Steam or Switch. And I ended up deciding on Switch. And that was simply because I wanted to be able to play it while I was sitting in bed, you know, like, because you want to be able to read. Yeah, so I bought it on Switch, but when I was looking on the Steam store, I noticed that they specifically, I keep pressing the wrong button at the start. They specifically say that you're only allowed to stream the first 2 chapters, which is kind of bullshit. But I do understand it because their business model is essentially selling a book. So if I were to read a book out on stream, that would similarly make it less likely that people would buy the book, I feel. So I understand, but yeah, for that reason, as well as because I don't think it would be a terribly engaging stream, I won't be doing that. I suspect Starchild was in fact just stirring me, but it's kind of my way to respond to everything as though it was sincere. You guys have probably noticed that by now. Where are we? Do I have Breath of the Wild? Yes, but I haven't played it for ages, so I would suck shit at it. Interesting. She says, sorry, you forgot you can't. And I went on like a 10-minute rant about the reason why. Do I have Hotline Miami? No, I don't. I'm not very good at anything that requires reaction time. And I'm especially not good at anything that requires reaction time when I'm sick. So, yeah. I have bad video game reflexes. My real world reflexes are actually quite good. Like I have on several occasions almost dropped important items and then reacted quickly enough that even though I've dropped the item, I have caught it before it's hit the ground. So real world reflexes are not bad at all, but video game reflexes, terrible. Very bad, no good. Also not good in sport, very bad reflexes in sport. The kind of person who would definitely get hit in the head with a ball when they could just as easily walk out of the way. Embarrassingly bad reflexes. Terrible, very bad, no good reflexes. That's me. Kitty! Why am I buying stuff on the Australian Switch store? Create an account in another region. Is that illegal? Like, can I get banned for that? Also, won't they kind of notice if I use an Australian credit card? And won't it fuck me if I ever want to use the online? I don't know, that just feels so what's the word I'm looking for? Shit. You guys know what I mean. Dishonest, that's the one. I'm a very honest person. I honestly don't know if I could do that. Like, I'm so honest, right? I am so honest that even though I knew it would make my car insurance more expensive, I updated my address details with my car insurance company before I paid my car insurance. It made it almost $100 more expensive. But nevertheless, I still did it. That's how honest I am. I'm stupid honest. I am disadvantaged myself honest. You can put another account from another region on your Switch to buy games and your normal account will have access. What the fuck? How does that work? Why? If it's that easy to get around it, then why do they bother charging us more in the first place? I mean, currently the exchange rate is you know, absolutely shithouse. Like, I paid $50 American for something the other day, and it cost me 75 Australian, and I was like, oh my god, are you kidding me? It was only like 5 years ago that we had parity. Not anymore. What, so is Nintendo just fucking us honest people? Like, is that the only thing here? Like, I'm sort of, like, I have a very good financial position, so I don't have to try and save every penny, but I still feel pissed off if they're charging us Australia tax. if you were to do it, you'd probably only do it for games not available locally, especially Japanese ones. Yeah, I get that. I get that for sure. That shits me as well, that games can be, like, not released. I understand that there are, what do you call it? We were literally just talking about it earlier in the evening. Rating issues. So if they want to officially release it in Australia, they do technically have to go through Australia's ratings board. But it shits me to tears that you have to do that. Where are we? Is that a swan? We say swan in my family. I can't explain why. What have I fucked up? Nothing. Something. Alright, what have I done? There we go. Where are we? Just looking up the chat. Looking up the chat. Yeah, they're probably required to offer it locally, but they're effectively exporting the digital copy. Like if you bought it in a physical store in the other country. Yeah. God. What the hell was that? Why'd it go ding ding? I don't even know. More flora? I can do that. Why do I keep pressing the wrong buttons? Alright. This controller is definitely not optimized for the fine art of picross. Alright, let's do this. The ding ding was the sound of the developers gaining admin access to your PC. How dare you when I'm sick and everything. Although there is like a, do you see it down the bottom of the screen? There's a loading bar. Maybe they are trying to hack me. Joke's on you guys. You can't get through the shitty Australian internet. That's a total lie. You guys know what resolution I'm streaming at. I have some of the best internet you can get in Australia. Which my ISP keeps trying to remind me I don't need to change to a different sort of good internet in Australia. And I'm just like, why do you keep telling me this? You've told me this 6 months ago. You're telling me again now. I still know that. Like, my knowledge hasn't changed. I'd like to think that if the developers were trying to gain admin access to my PC, that my virus scanner would stop them. Or, you know, my security suite. Antivirus, whatever you call it. I wonder what the kids are calling it these days. Antivirus, right? That's what the companies still call themselves. Even though viruses are kind of an old type of a way to describe the technology. Malware is really what it should be called now. Oh, I see. It's Comrade hacking my PC. Okay. What have I done? Seriously, what have I done? You know what? It's a small one. I'm just going to delete this whole set. And we'll do these 3 columns again. Oops. That's better. sent me the proper version to my Facebook chat? Okay, let me have a look. I agree, Comman. I'm sure there's picross speedrunners who have, you know, all the keyboards set up. I'm not saying this out loud, Kai. I can't read this out loud. Not least because I won't be able to do so without laughing. Oh my god, I haven't had like any water during this whole stream. Hang on, I'm just going to try and hydrate a little. Alright. I have hydrated some. It probably makes me really immature, but I have never lost the joy that I felt as a high schooler for really inventive swearing. Like anyone else here, there we go. When they were growing up, watch AVGN, the Angry Video Game Nerd. That was my favorite thing when I was in late high school. Home, huh? Can I broadcast a recording? Not easily. I would need to download it, and then play it, and I can't be fucked doing all those steps. It's like 3 steps. I'm not doing it. That's to 5. There we go. How long have I been going? 3.5 hours. What's the time? Oh shit, it's 11? Oh Jesus. Did I mention at the start of the stream that when I have sinusitis, I can't actually track the passage of time? Like, brain doesn't handle time passing? Because, yeah, that's what's happened here. I didn't realize it was this late. Alright, I want to finish the 10s, and then maybe we'll finish up? Want to unlock, wait, no, I've already unlocked the 15s, so finishing the 10s would literally just be for my own, satisfaction. Don't you cap at me, Necro. I legitimately lost track of time. I am very much willing to own up to when I just go late out of sheer irresponsibility, but this was a mistake. Well, not a mistake exactly, but unintent. Like, I wasn't trying to go late, if that makes sense. Linnie's excuses keep getting more inventive. Cheeky. What a cheeky chat I have. I like it. You better stay cheeky, chat. Fun fact, I haven't started on the work I said I would stop procrastinating about. God damn it, I didn't follow up! I was supposed to check up on you. Gopher, you started your work yet in the 30 seconds it's been since you posted your last message in the chat? Maybe later. At uni, I was also a world-class procrastinator. It comes with having an anxiety disorder as well, and being a perfectionist. Oh, it's a mailbox. That's nice. You better get to bed at a proper time, or you might not have a chance to have scones tomorrow. Are you actually making scones? Because I will totally eat those if you are actually making them. I better also get to bed at a decent time because I have a haircut tomorrow morning. Just a little trim to keep it healthy. So, okay, people in the chat who don't know me personally, how long do you think my hair is? Who don't know me personally. What type of a unit is 7, Gopher? 7 longs. 3 units. Necro is the only one with a sensible guess. Comrade as well. Yeah, you're both right. The two of you who gave sensible guesses. I do have it around my shoulders. Three units is equal to around shoulders. I understand. I see. Kai's giving some Australian motivation. Started up the stream ends. All right. Well, I will make sure that I finish reasonably soon then. Yeah, I've got to say, because I personally have the big history of procrastination, I find it difficult to have the moral authority to tell people to stop procrastinating. So if I'm going to be telling someone to like stop procrastinating, it would usually be more along the lines of, well, I mean, like, are you happy with, like, this is the consequence that's going to happen? Are you prepared for that? And if they say yes, I'm like, well, I understand. I support you. I am also willing to listen to you whinge when inevitably it becomes late and you wish that you had done it earlier, because I have also been in that position. All right. All right. Once you start, it becomes really easy to continue. Yeah, I was the same with a lot of my linguistic stuff in uni. So I am a perfectionist, and there's basically, you can divide perfectionism into 2 types, right? There's people who it's sometimes referred to as adaptive and maladaptive perfectionism. People with adaptive perfectionism like to get things started really early, and they work really hard on it, and it can be difficult for them to stop and let things go. And they kind of always worry that no matter how much they do, it won't be enough. But that kind of motivates them to get started and like really work hard on something. And then there's people like me who are so afraid of what their work being shit that they don't want to start it. And subsequently, it makes it more likely that it will be shit. So yeah, you're heading off, comrade. Have a good one. I think this is the most fuck off. I think this is the most cheery track on the soundtrack, right? Space 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Kai's really getting into it. Is that how you motivated yourself when you were studying, Kai? See, that kind of motivation would totally backfire for me, because my brain is always looking for ammunition to fuel the narrative that I'm a shit person who doesn't deserve any of the success that I've achieved. So if someone gives me ammunition that, yes, that's right. You should have been working harder. You should have started that earlier. Then immediately my brain's like, huh, what a relief. This is something we're used to, and immediately starts beating myself up about it rather than using that brain power to actually do the work. Anxiety is, yeah, it's nice. It's a good one. I think I respond the best to motivation that's sort of like, I'm here for you if you need me, but I believe in you. That probably sums it up. I'm here for you if you need me, but I believe in you. I said before that I kind of had a really sheltered childhood, not like being allowed to watch movies and stuff like that, but it was also, I mentioned before that even, how like I wanted to be a computer scientist, but I didn't really get the support that I needed because my parents just said, well, if it's so hard, like, just don't do it. Thanks, parents. They were saying that still to me when I was in Japan doing my master's degree. They were just like, you know, if it's too hard for you, you can always come home. And I was like, are you fucking kidding me? That is not what I need to hear. I need to hear, you can do this. You know, like, we believe in you. Like, do you want us to send you like 16 kilograms of chocolate so that you feel better? That's what I needed. I didn't need to hear, oh, you should just give up. I see, it's firefighter motivation. I get you, Kai. How many puzzles do I have left? I'm actually I think my ibuprofen is starting to wear off. Does it come from a place of concern? It does, probably, but I still find it difficult to accept. Are you sure you want to quit the puzzle? Yes. I still have ages to go. I didn't realize how few of these I'd gotten through. What's the time? I'll do one more. I'll do one more and then we'll stop because I do need to be getting to bed. And Gopher needs to be starting their work. And I pressed the wrong button again. Space 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's difficult to accept when things come from a place of concern. When, like, I feel like there's so much information out there. Like, I didn't even get diagnosed with anxiety until I was already an adult, even though I'd been showing it from a very young age. I just feel like I had a lot of being told that my feelings were wrong when I was a kid. Like, you're too sensitive. To the extent now that if someone tells me I'm overreacting to something or that I'm too sensitive, it really raises my hackles. And it's a problem in like a work context because someone could easily tell you, like, you're probably thinking too much into this when you're like pursuing a topic for some reason, right? And I can find that difficult to accept because I come from that place of having my feelings and my thoughts devalued and ignored. So, yeah, it's a difficult one. Ultimately, as an adult, you don't have to hang around with anyone you don't want to, and that includes your family. So, it makes my life so much easier that I don't live with my parents now. I think I lived with them for too long, and that definitely wasn't good for me. Probably for them either. If the ibuprofen doesn't help, try diclofenac. Is that like some ridiculously powerful medicine that you're suggesting ingest? Where are we? Well, the 2 has to go here, right? There we go. Is this a mushroom? Is this a mushroom? That would be a wonderful one to end on. It is! Mushroom. Where are we? It's a brown flower, please. Mushroom. Still here? Change your plans? Well, you can change your plans back because I'm going to log off now. I have the tired and I have the sick, so I am going to take myself off to bed and hopefully feel better in the morning. I've started taking the medicine that I need, so hopefully a bit of sleep will make me feel better. If ibuprofen doesn't help. Oh, I see, it's a more potent anti-inflammatory. I'm not really using it, like I'm just using it so that it uninflames my sinuses enough that, you know, I don't get that terrible sense of pressure in the front of my face. Use it for your shoulder. Okay, cool. Rude that I'm leaving as soon as you get back. I'm sorry. But we will be streaming tomorrow. I still haven't decided what that's going to be. So, oh, one of the games that was suggested to me yesterday, What Remains of Edith Finch. I looked it up on How Long to Beat, and it seems like it only takes 3 hours. So if I think my brain is up for actually solving puzzles and listening to story tomorrow, then I could do What Remains of Edith Finch tomorrow. How do I go back? There it is. But that all depends on whether I'm feeling up to it. I've got my regular like fill-in games as well, like Smash is on the list at the moment, The Sims, and what's the other one? Islanders. Could do those. You don't think it's 3 hours? At least 2 streams. Things do tend to slow down on stream. That's very true, actually. I've noticed that things, like, you have to add at least a third in time again to account for the fact that you are talking to the chat and that you are just playing more slowly. So yeah. All right. Cool, guys. Thank you for coming and hanging out tonight at my 6th stream with the Pictopix. Pictopix, I'm sorry. It's not called Pictocross under any circumstance. It's either called Picross or Pictopix. So that's good. You probably got a lot of nice plosive sounds that my pop filter isn't filtering out properly at the moment from that last little bit of conversation. I'm dead, so I'm gonna go sleep. You guys should too, unless it's the middle of the day where you are, in which case you should go out and enjoy the world, or you know, just load up another stream, because none of us really want to go out and enjoy the world, do we? Gopher, you should do your work and not load up another stream and procrastinate any further. I wish you good luck with it, and yeah, I don't have anything else to say. So, I will just say thank you for joining me. I appreciate you for being here, and maybe I'll see you again sometime. So for now, bye-bye, guys.